better than that.
Good afternoon, sickos, degenerates, and ladies. Hello. Welcome into the old college try. I'm your host, Colby Marshall. Alongside me is Nathan, not Nathaniel. Don't get it twisted, people. That's my middle name.
It's Nathan.
Nathan Hornung and Kate
William.
Costable. Yeah, a bunch of Nates on this show.
Cute.
Yeah. Hello, everybody.
If you
Wasn't
needed any
week
more
2
parallels,
fun?
that me and Colby are the same person. So
Yeah.
there it goes.
Really, except Nate over there thinks B-Dubs is a great place to grab a meal. I could punch him in
No,
the face.
B-Dubs is not bad.
You're twisting. Thank you,
I will
Kate.
back you up on
Thank
that.
you.
All right,
Hey,
I
B-Dubs
retired
was
from my
Friday night date spot in college.
2 against 1. Colby, stay down there.
Wait. Now, Kate, say that one more time.
Not Friday night, Sunday night date spot in college. Yeah, I know.
Now-
in college is the key to that.
No. And this isn't me calling you old. How long ago was that? Because that was the last time B-Dubs was good. That's all I'm saying. I'm not calling you old. You're not
That
old.
was probably
I will
like
find someone.
10 years ago. A little over 10 years ago.
That was the last
I'm
time
pretty
it was
old.
quality food.
Okay.
No, you're not old. Do not say that.
I'm not going to single out
Wingstop trumps B-Dubs these days, but I could
Hooters trumps
mess
B-Dubs.
around with some B-Dubs.
Get out of here, Colby.
Hooters.
That's a bad
No,
take.
Hooters has always had better wings than B-Dubs.
No,
Always.
no.
Bad take.
They have
Two-
curly
two
fries
against
too. That's
one.
probably why I like it.
I don't
more.
like curly fries.
See, if you're
Curly
wanting
fries never
curly
crisp enough.
just go to
They're always
Arby's.
fuzzy and in
Kate
the
is
middle of the
definitely
curl.
a smiley fry girl. She's like, if it doesn't have a smile, I don't want it.
No, I'm a Chick-fil-A waffle fry
Yes.
all day, every day.
I like the crinkle cut from time to time.
Yep.
You know, a Culver's, a
That's
Raising
why he
Cane's.
loves Portillo's.
I do love
Fantastic
Portillo's.
burgers, Portillo's. Fantastic burger.
Fantastic
Oh.
Polish dogs. Maxwell Street Polish. Phenomenal.
Oh, Kate's
Nothing
the
better.
best.
Nothing better.
Kate panders to all of my Chicago love.
Now I'm
She's
just
like,
trying
I
to
might be
figure out
from
what-
the soda, but I know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Now I just have to figure out which
Oh.
of those options I'm ordering for dinner tonight.
Yeah,
'cause we got
exactly,
No
right.
food here.
Oh, you could have got that deal at McDonald's. You told us a couple weeks ago. But anywho, was week 2 not perfect? I thought it was perfect. As snoozy as I made it sound last week, I actually thoroughly enjoyed the snoozer. I can't lie. I know Kate's going to have some things to say about Iowa, but hey, good teams cover. Great
That's
teams
right.
cover. Excuse me. Great teams do cover.
Great
All
teams.
the Iowa State fans that were at the bar that I was at were cheering, and I was like, I don't understand what you're cheering for.
I
Win's a
mean,
win.
hey, whether or not you got 3 or 3.5, numbers matter. For the numbers don't matter, crew and bet teams, not numbers. Numbers do matter. 3.5, you won. 3, you pushed. Either way, not a loss. So I say Iowa is 2-0 to start the season.
Well, you know, the record might say differently, but
barely over 200 total yards. I mean, Mark Gronowski has like what 100 yards, 125 yards total on the season. But we're work in progress here.
First
Modern
bullet point
offense.
right there. Iowa's
Modern day
offense.
offense.
Still a little iffy though. Not the most exciting to watch, but
No, it's really not at all. It's painful. Iowa plays not to lose versus to win, and that's a problem. You're not going to win too many football games when you play that way. They just dink and dunk, run it like that. There's no downfield passing. There's no opening up the offense or anything like that, and you're just not going to win ball games doing that in the long term.
just another Cyhawk under this weekend. That's what that was.
And they have no wide receivers. If you get a competent receiver, I think the offense could open up, but nobody could catch anything that your quarterback was throwing.
Yep.
Which was sad.
It was.
FCS Wiseman.
So that snaps the road team winning in the Cyhawk series. Well, that was like I should have the number in front of me. Five straight seasons of the road team winning, something like that. So snap of that trend. And
Trend's made to be
we live
broken.
to fight another day.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We got a nice little comment from our good friend Nate Jacobson, who giving you guys your flowers on the over for the border war.
Nate, you got a
I
great
love it.
name, man. You're a smart guy. Look, that was exciting. I'm glad they went back and forth. Obviously, would have liked my Jayhawks to pull out a win or even a cover in the first border war since 2011. But hey, we got points on the board. It was an exciting game. Tip the cap to Missouri. They got the job done.
Any compliment from Nate, I will take, because Nate is a smart college football betting man.
100%.
So if Nate's going to compliment us, Nate, I'll take that from you any day.
I'll say this. Anytime in my group chat I say I like something and Nate goes, you want to go head to head on it? And I go,
No.
I always don't want to bet it. But he wanted to go against me with George Pickens receiving under on Thursday, and that was my most confident bet all offseason. So feeling good about that.
As you should.
Yeah.
As you should. You were talking about that one for a while, so glad
Yeah.
it cashed for you.
The whole season. So I got to sweat out another, 16 games? I don't even know how many games are in the NFL anymore. I just wait till it's over.
Yeah.
Speaking of you and your boys, Colby, you guys are sweating out the old DJ Lagway Heisman ticket.
That's why would you say that?
Look, I got to bring it up.
That?
Someone put it on the schedule. Oh yeah, that was me. Billy Napier, his seat on fire. We knew he was on the hot seat. At least I did going into the season. Colby, you noticed his seat was hot as well. Maybe thinking DJ Lagway.
I hate Billy Napier. Why do you have to do this to me?
It had to be brought up. It had to be brought up because the Gators were clearly looking ahead to this week against LSU, in my mind, and they got beat on the road. Is that more of South Florida legit, or are the Gators just going to do what the Gators have done the last few seasons?
Actually can't wait to talk about that game this week. But as somebody who
match.
does own a DJ Lagway Heisman Trophy ticket, it is real nice getting out of the way all of my Heisman futures in the first 3 weeks of college football. I will say, no sweat, no problem for me. Who cares if I lost X amount of dollars already? No way in hell Ty Simpson or DJ Lagway win the Heisman now. Also, this is also good for Florida because this just adds to the demise of Billy Napier. He needs to go. He is not going to do anything with this program, and he's already proven it to you over the last 4 or 5 years. Let it go. My futures are dead. That is the futures update for me, at least. Thank you, Nate, for pointing that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all I
Happy to
have.
help. It's okay. We'll get into one of my futures updates. K-State to win the Big 12.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, you wrote it down.
It's gone. I wrote it
Yeah.
down. I ripped it up. There are problems in the little apple. Manhattan, Kansas is not Manhappiness right now. I know people who are calling for Chris Kleiman to be fired already. I don't know if that would solve the issue. But K-State, a team coming into the season, I certainly expected them to be on top of the Big 12, but sitting at 1-2, you got a home loss to Army. You barely squeaked out a win against North Dakota. Bad news for the Cats. Bad news for the Cats. So yes, I'm declaring the Cats to win the Big 12 dead.
Right now. I think that's probably pretty safe.
Yeah,
especially with Arizona this weekend. That's going to be a tough one.
We'll
I'll just go ahead and say my futures, like John Mateer, still looks pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big win over Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Now the real tests start, though. Schedule starts to get pretty dicey in the next couple of weeks, so we'll see how that. I may be ripping up that ticket along with you, Shags.
We'll see if that guy's made for the SEC or not.
Yep.
Scary.
Looking at just the rest of my futures getting in, I got beef with SMU for absolutely melting down. I really, really needed that Baylor loss for their win total under, and get props to Dave Aranda, Sawyer Robertson for pulling that win out in Dallas. Arkansas got their 2 bunnies out of the way, so we'll see how they do now facing an SEC opponent this weekend. And Tulane coming through again, 2 wins for the Green Wave, another big one for them this weekend. So looking solid. 2 weeks into the season, 3 weeks into the season. We'll see how they go.
At least one of us is having, or actually Kate's having fun too. I don't know why I said one of us. At least the 2 of you guys are having fun with your futures.
It's always fun.
Yeah.
It's always
You
fun.
know what? I'm actually, I'm actually really excited about week 3. I think we should just jump right into it because we have a lot of great games, a lot of great matchups. We'll save Georgia, Tennessee for last, even though I want to talk about it right now. But let's talk about we're already talking about Kansas State. Let's talk about them. I think that's a very interesting game. I took Arizona on Sunday at +1.5. I will pull that up right now. A lot of people, I feel like, will make the argument that it's a fishy line because it opened at -2.5 towards Kansas State as road favorites. I don't think that's fishy at all because I could also make the argument that why is it so short when Kansas State was supposed to be one of the best teams in the Big 12? Why is it so short then? I think Arizona is a must be on for at least me because I'm going to buy into everything bad about Kansas State. They should be 0-3 if they didn't make that final last-minute drive for a touchdown against, was it South Dakota, North Dakota, whatever. It's the
North Dakota, yeah.
North Dakota. They would be 0-3. They have done nothing to impress me. Their defense is actually, I was looking at the numbers. Phil Steele projected everything that they're allowing and giving up yardage and points-wise. That's what he's predicted. If they continue it, he's correct 100% on everything. But I think Arizona has a really good offense, and they bring back a ton of guys. They have a lot of weapons. They've proven they can score 1 million points in the first 2 weeks. I know it's not against the greatest competition, but Kansas State wasn't playing the greatest competition either. So I think +1.5 is a great spot to be on. I'd rather take that 1 point cushion over, I forgot what the money line was. I was like, I think the 1 is a better number to be on, but I'm not worried about Kansas State. I don't want to be on Kansas State. If they win this game, makes 100% makes sense because they are due for something, but I want to be on the Wildcats, the Arizona ones.
I think you're on the right side there. I'm going to go with the over in this game at 54.5. I think everything you just said about Arizona's offense is legit. Like, I mean, Fafita's tossed 6 touchdowns, no interceptions, averaging almost 12 yards per attempt. The Kansas State secondary is not very good whatsoever. And Kansas State right now, like 0-3 against the spread this season. They haven't been covering, but still, I think they're gonna figure some things out eventually. And I don't think Arizona's defense is, I mean, who have they played? Like, that's the thing is like, yes, only allowed 9 total points, but you played Hawaii with a bum quarterback or a quarterback with a bum leg, and you've played Weber State. So like, the competition offensively is going to ramp up a little bit, that I think they're going to let up a little bit more points. Like, maybe we're overvaluing their defense a little bit. So I'm going over here, banking on Arizona scoring a ton of points and Kansas State at least doing enough to stick with it. And you have a close spread. So I don't think we're going to get like a massive blowout. I think it's going to be kind of a back-to-back shootout.
I want no part of this game. I definitely think you're both on the right side. It's the dog or nothing for me, just with the way Kansas State has not shown up this year, personally. And you know, it's you've still got Noah at Arizona State, or Arizona, excuse me, wasn't the guy you wanted him to be last year, after starting off 3-1, big road win at number 10 Utah last year, and then they melted down, losing 8 of their last 9 games, I believe. So expectations going into the season not very high for the Arizona Wildcats, but I think this is a great spot to kind of steal one at home from a team that should probably be favored by a little more, especially from the beginning of the season. But the way they're playing now, it's Arizona or nothing for me.
I'm more shocked that the line hasn't moved more. I'm shocked people aren't buying more into Arizona, but I can understand if you're buying into Kansas State right now, because it's just, you're buying into the bad news like I did with Auburn in week 1.
Yeah, you're kind of buying low on Kansas State right now.
Yeah.
It is worth mentioning, I don't know if this impacts either of your bets, but this is not technically a conference game for the Big 12, 2 Big 12 teams, obviously, but because of the extended schedule, this game actually does not count towards their conference record. It was the same thing.
So I gotta edit my article now?
you might have to.
How does that make any sense? You just put me in a pretzel.
They had a couple of those last year. I remember one odd one. Maybe it was Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado played someone. I know K-State and Arizona played last year, and it was the same situation.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if it's. I think it's just with the.
How does that make any sense?
It doesn't. I mean,
I'm not editing my article.
How much did you lean into the conference matchup aspect? I mean,
not at all. I just said this Big 12 matchup, but I guess I should put in parentheses, not really.
Still a Big 12
matchup.
Not really.
Two Big 12 teams.
Technically, they are two Big 12 schools playing each other. It just doesn't count towards the Big 12 record.
Right.
Wow, that put me in a mental pretzel.
Only 9 conference games in the Big 12. K-State, they've got 10 Big 12 opponents on their schedule. So don't know why, but that's just the situation going into this game.
Wow. Where do we want to go next? What are we itching to chatter about, folks?
I want your thoughts on Clemson, Georgia Tech, actually, because
God,
Kate is on the same side of me.
She is.
She is. I'm worried. I fell for the bait, fell for some trap. I'm taking the Yellow Jackets, plus the 4.5 and the money line as well, hosting Clemson this week. Yeah. Haven't liked what I've seen on Clemson. That's kind of it. That's kind of all there is to it, to be honest with you. Georgia Tech gets this game at home. Catching the 4.5 points is enough for me. I think it maybe comes down to a field goal either way, but I've liked what I've seen from the Yellow Jackets. Yes, a little worried about maybe Haynes King's health, but I like Georgia Tech as a team. Haven't liked what I've seen about Clemson. So Georgia Tech for me.
I'm right there with you. Clemson's just looked clunky. And I know like part of it is like they had the weather delay and that kind of throws things into a wrench. Week 1 against LSU, like that's a tough game. They should have, being at home in that game, like they should have played better. They should have won that game. But ultimately, Haynes King, when he and Brent Key, the head coach for Georgia Tech, they're 4-0 in ACC play straight up. Like that's against, I think that was last 2 seasons against top ranked teams. Like they win. And especially at home too, this game being played at Georgia Tech, like that's huge. I think that this team is just underrated. And I know the line has moved significantly, opened Clemson -9. And that was before week 2 games were even over. So obviously that adjusted after Clemson looked the way they did in week 2. But still, you're getting over a field goal 4.5. I think these teams are a lot closer than that line is suggesting. And I think that Georgia Tech could certainly win outright at home.
Colby, known Dabo hater. Your thoughts?
I won't lie. My initial thought on this game was 100% Clemson. I don't know if I'm going to pull the trigger on GT. I get it. 100%. I get it. We were talking about it on Sunday in the group chat about this game and how it feels like a Georgia Tech money line spot, but also with how poorly Clemson's looked in the first 2 weeks makes me want to back them because, again, notable Dabo hater. I know everything about him. So I know that he turns it around eventually. So he's eventually due for some miraculous turnaround, and then his team is in the playoffs. That's how it's going to happen, guys. It's inevitable. Probably. It's like the Chicago Bears. They're always going to suck. Dabo's always going to have a job. He's going to turn it around. If this number continues to drop, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to take Clemson money line because it's just begging for me to be taken. -160. I'm not paying that right now. I want to see if that line drops more. It's at 3.5 right now on some books. And I hate that I like him. I hate it. I want the fall of this franchise program to just. I like saying program over program. Program sounds like we're talking football. So I hope Georgia Tech wins, but if it keeps dropping, I'm going to have to be on DT just because there's no reason it should be dropping that drastically.
Right. No, I would definitely, if you're back in the Yellow Jackets, I would do it now and make sure
you get
points. Make sure you get the field goal and the hook at least. Because, under 3 would not be a play for Georgia
What did it open
Tech.
at 7, right?
9.
9. I wrote that down too. That's insane. There's a couple of games that we have that opened at insane numbers.
Changed. Yeah.
But Colby, who cares about that opening number, man?
Yeah. No one knows what they're doing.
It's interesting to know. I mean, Fortuna, when we had him on last year, he kept mentioning, and I was like, this is really good that he's mentioning this because my dumb brain would never go back and look at this.
Well, you only get those numbers for a few matchups. You're not getting a 3-month look ahead line for Samford Baylor or anything like that. So.
Yeah. You won't get those till the morning of. Right. Just like I'm looking at Toledo, Morgan State. I'm like, when's that? Or is it more? It's Morgan State, right? Yeah, Morgan State. Like, open those lines. I want to know how good Toledo is, please.
Oh my gosh! Speaking of this, man, I know player props are hard to, it's a lot more to keep track of from the book's perspective in terms of, odds and trading and whatnot. But I looked all week for Liberty's quarterback, Ethan Vasco, his rushing yards, could not find it. I wanted to target it all weekend long. The guy went for a bunch, ran all over the field. So books, if you could please give me the props I'm specifically looking for, I would really appreciate it. Thank you. That is all.
That would be nice.
Yeah. Now, I don't
world.
know if any of you guys have looked at or thought about, but the news broke today that Colorado is going with their third stringer. Are we going to buy in on the Buffs this week, or are we Team Cougars?
Wasn't he the backup to Shedeur last year? How do you go from the backup last year to the third stringer this year?
So they brought in Caden Salter from Liberty to be the starter, and then they have a 5-star freshman. Julian Lewis is a 5-star recruit who was competing for the starting job with Salter, I believe. But yeah, they're going with this third stringer. Is he going to play the whole game?
I don't know what they're doing if you're already switching around your quarterbacks this early into the season. Like, are you just going to be playing quarterback roulette all season long if this kid sucks after 2 games?
I saw someone bring up the point of, like, is this Dion just sending a message to Salter and Lewis that, hey, whatever you're doing is not getting the job done. We're going to roll with this guy for, I don't know, the first quarter, the first half. I don't see this guy playing the entire game if it's a competitive game that Colorado can win, unless he's doing well.
First quarter, you can get Houston at -1.5 plus 112.
-1.5 plus 112.
First
I
quarter.
also just I don't like the fact that Houston's a favorite at all on the football field. Is Case Keenum still there? I mean,
I don't know anything about Houston's football team. All I know is anytime I see Houston's football team, they always are that team that Alabama would destroy by 60 points. That's all I remember ever seeing anything about Houston football. Basketball, we know about that.
Let's see. They shut out Stephen F. Austin 27-0.
Well, that's a tough game. That's a tough game. You got to put some respect.
They beat Rice 35-9. Those are their 2 games so far this season.
I mean, I could go for a first quarter -1.5. You have this kid who hasn't started. Like, did he start any games last year? I know he's played a little bit, but like you're on the road. I don't know. Is Houston that hostile of an environment where like he's going to be shaken? I don't think so. Like,
no.
I bet the under in Michigan, Oregon, or not the under. I bet Oregon first half because you have Bryce Underwood going to Oregon to play his first road start in an SEC team. Like, that's a tough place for a young, inexperienced quarterback to play. I'm not sure if that's the same case for this Colorado kid in Houston, but I certainly wouldn't take Colorado.
Looking at his stats, Ryan Staub, he threw 4 passes last season. Did not have a completion.
That's enough. That's a good sample size.
Yeah.
One sack for 8 yards.
What's his completion percentage?
Math, Colby. 0 for 4. You can do it. Oh, did you not hear me say that? Yeah, he did not have a completion.
I only heard 4 attempts. That's all I heard.
4 attempts, did not have a completion, took 1 sack for 8 yards. Three carries for 4 total yards over the course of the season.
Houston -1.5 first quarter.
That might be the show sweat of the week.
I think it might be.
Buy that bad news. Sell the bad news.
15 minutes, you can't get a point? Come on. What if they got a safety? What if it was 2-0 going into the second quarter? 2-0.
Then you have to just take your losses and go home. Like, that's like, what are you going to do?
Oh, that'd be awesome. We win on a safety. That'd be sick. I'd have to roll that over into like a parlay because there's no way that would ever happen again.
Right.
All right. I have a spite bet. And
it's
not like it's not a real spite bet. I'm just mad that Ole Miss didn't cover against Kentucky last week. So this is basically a rollover. I'm annoyed that this didn't hit. So we're going to hope it hits this week because I like Ole Miss again, same number, and it has dropped. So you can go get this at 7.5, but I would suggest waiting You could probably get a 7 or maybe a 6.5 because people are still buying into Arkansas. I like Ole Miss -8.5. I think they win by at least 10 at home. Honestly, if you, one, don't allow that field goal in the last couple seconds, that meaningless backdoor cover field goal by the Wildcats, you also don't turn the ball over twice, which both led into scores to Kentucky. You may have won that game by 17 points. So I think Ole Miss back at home hasn't covered a spread. Lane Kiffin, we don't know what he is when it comes to motivating, but he likes to cover spreads, supposedly. He used to, at least. And he's much better at home. If you go look at his stats, I think he's got 4 losses at home in Oxford. But I don't like Arkansas. I know this is contradictory to what I said about Kansas State, or actually what I said about Arizona, but you play a SWAC team and you play a team from the Sun Belt. I want to know how good you are on a road when you are basically a rebuilt team from last year. Like, there's just a bunch of guys you brought in. How good is your offense really when you're playing Alabama A&M? How good are you? I could say the same thing about Arizona, but I'm a hypocrite. So Ole Miss -8.5.
I like that. I'll be with you in spirit, obviously, with my Arkansas win total under bet. Kind of just
gave you a shout out on the write up, by the way.
Hey, appreciate that. Just the last second, BS cover by Mark Stoops kicking that meaningless field goal. Just to,
what was the point?
To cover the spread. That's exactly what the point was. You can't. It was
no. I know it's
8
for that.
Seconds left. There were 8 seconds left in the game. They were down 10. There's no other reason to kick that field goal other than to cover the spread, get some points on the board, and make your boosters happy. So was it kind of just
pisses me off? That pisses me off.
I think that was poking Lane Kiffin a little bit. So I could see this one getting out of hand personally. I think Ole Miss is light years ahead of Arkansas, and yeah, given they're at home as well, I don't see Lane Kiffin holding up at all offensively.
Seriously.
Big Arkansas hater this season. Don't believe in their offense. And again, you said it, Colby. Who have they played? They have had 2 big bunnies. Now they have to go into an SEC opponent and try and win. So I don't see it happening.
That's where you prove how good your team actually is.
Right.
Like, they brought in a bunch of talent on both sides. Even proved it to me.
And even Arkansas, looking ahead, they have they go to Memphis next week. So that's not a cupcake either. So obviously you got to focus on the task at hand. But this is, with my Arkansas win total, I knew they were going to win those first 2 games. Now it gets interesting. You go on the road to Ole Miss, you go on the road to Memphis, you host Notre Dame, and then you're into the gauntlet of the SEC. So I think Ole Miss covers this week as well.
I think a lot of these teams too that have had just the cupcakes in week 1 and 2, which is a lot of the Power 4 schools. Like now that they're playing competent opponents, they're not going to look this good. Like, there is absolutely no way Arkansas puts up 56, 52 points in this game, right? Like, there's just no way. I'm not going to bet this game. I mean, you guys make a great argument. You could easily convince me to get on Ole Miss, but I instead will be doing hot yoga with Lane on Saturday morning. If that's true, that's unbelievable.
I think
I can see it.
True.
I can see it.
I
can see it, which I hate.
So
I can totally see him doing
that.
Nut job. Yeah, he's weird.
One of a kind.
Hide your wives, boys. Hide your wives.
Hide your wives.
Hide your wives. Now, Nate joked about it. I'm going to go right to it. Nate joked about it and teased me, but very good matchup this week. USF versus Miami. I haven't locked anything in. I want to see that line dance a little bit more. I like Miami a lot. I like Miami a ton. Why? USF is coming off their Super Bowl last week. Going into Gainesville, getting a win against Florida is huge. Getting a win in the Swamp is always massive, especially when you're USF. So, and they're also coming off of murdering Boise State, letting everyone know Ashton Genty was the reason why they were good last year. Now I think it's time for a little letdown spot in Miami, who I think all 3 of us know, pretty good football team. And I'm just nervous. Is the number too high, or is this really a spot for Miami to dominate a team after they're coming off, again, their Super Bowl?
I am with you. I really wanted to take Miami. My lean is on South Florida just because 17's a lot. Like,
Yeah.
that's a lot of points. But I don't think there is any way this Miami team overlooks USF at all. Like, if you read what's been coming out of Miami's camp, like, they are well aware of the talent on South Florida's team. You add in the fact you just said, Colby, that they're coming off of their Super Bowl. Also, Carson Beck's been really good this year. Like, I was a Carson Beck hater going into the season. And yeah, I know they didn't play anyone last week, but he was 22 of 24. That's still good regardless.
They coasted. That's what
Yeah.
they did. They coasted.
Yeah. And I think Byron Brown, South Florida's quarterback, like, he's been really great at using his legs and like breaking the contain and getting first downs. I think Miami's front seven is good. Like, they're
We
not
saw it against Notre Dame. Yeah.
And if he can't run, if he can't scramble and like make these plays on the ground, I'm not sure they get downfield as much as they have been. So I could totally see this being a massive blowout. But again, 17, it could be a blowout and they could win by 16, you know?
Yeah.
Which is still, I mean, over 2 touchdowns, that's still kind of considered a blowout. So that number is just high. But the fact that it is so high after South Florida being a ranked team now and what they did the last 2 weeks, like, that still kind of says, like, are they that good? Are they as good as they have been? So I'm kind of contradicted on this matchup. So I don't have anything locked in yet, but kind of lean towards them getting the points.
Are you two aware of the situation going on with the South Florida fan base and a specific AP Top 25 poll voter?
I saw the video. I'm glad you're mentioning this so I could be educated on it. Please tell me more.
So it's, you know, it's
woman,
one fan,
right? The woman.
Yeah, it's one fan base getting mad at one AP poll voter. And I kind of think they have a point because said AP poll voter moved Florida up 2 spots following this loss to South Florida, and South Florida remains unranked in their top 25. Now, I'm not saying South Florida definitely deserves to be in the top 25. It was interesting, that move personally, moving the Gators up. This individual also is the only one still voting Kansas State into the top 25. Regardless.
Moving up as in better?
Florida lost and they moved up in the standings?
For this specific voters poll, yes.
Maybe this specific voter needs to be removed from voting in the poll.
That is what a lot of people are saying, actually. I think that's a motivation factor for the Bulls. I think the Bulls are back. I will be backing them plus the 17. I bet them plus 17 because, Colby, you mentioned wanting to watch this line and watch it
Didn't even know you locked that in.
I think if you like the Bulls, you get them now because I could see this coming down to 16.5 or even lower before kickoff because I do think people are going to buy in on the South Florida Bulls hype. And this is kind of the same thinking I had when they faced the Gators last week. You know, I bet the plus 18. Florida could have – I expected Florida to win that game. I didn't expect them to do so by triple digits, or 3 possessions, which is why I bet South Florida. Same thinking here. I do think Miami wins this game. I think Miami probably wins this game by double digits, but 3 possessions is a lot for the South Florida team, who I have been impressed with what I've seen with them. So I'm betting this number here, 17 for the South Florida Bulls. This is going to be a real test for them. Obviously, Miami top 5 team in the nation, but I like the Bulls. I like what I've seen from Byron Brown. I think it's too many points. So I got South Florida plus the 17.
Can't lie. Really love the discourse here, unlike we did in week 1. Week 1, we're like, yeah, that sounds real good. I'm with you. And we had a terrible week.
Right. No, but
we did have a terrible week 1.
Getting back into like the AP poll voter thing, I really just think that's going to be a motivation factor for the South Florida team. You're feeding them intangibles. You're feeding the bulletin board material, and they've got nothing to lose. I mean, sure, they're in the top 25 now, but no one is expecting them to go in and beat this Miami Hurricanes team with the way Miami's been playing. So go ball out like you got nothing to lose. I think they could surprise some people.
There's also a chance that they're actually legit.
That too.
Like,
that would be
exactly.
Cool. That would be cool.
There's a chance that they're the Boise State of
Yep.
Last year,
100%.
they make the playoff, maybe win a playoff game. They're not going to compete for a title, but they could win a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
This would be the most NCAA, the video game type thing ever, where you should have your own team, and you're like, I definitely want San Jose State to go to BCS. All right, Kate, where are we going? Tell us what you're itching to chatter about.
I'm going Alabama minus 21 over Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama's winning this one big. Like, Wisconsin struggled. I know they won last week, right? But they've been struggling. They struggled in that game early on. And this is an Alabama team that Kalen DeBoer, like, did you see the woman who wanted to buy him out after winning the lottery? Like, fans hate him right now.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, if I win the lottery, 70 million of this is going to Kalen DeBoer. The other part of it is going to the AD. They're both out.
Who would they go get? First of all, who would, like, a sidetrack real quick. Say DeBoer gets fired. Who would be the best get for that program? Sorry, we're talking
Nick
football.
Saban. Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Exactly. You'd bring back the old man.
Yeah. I mean,
What else are you gonna do?
He's fine. He's fine. Like, but that just to say is that in order to get the fan base kind of off his back, he needs to just absolutely blow teams up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't win by 2 touchdowns. You need to win by 3, 4. So I think that they are not going to take their foot off the gas against Wisconsin, even if they get up comfortably in the second half. Wisconsin's defense has struggled to create any negative plays this year. And if you're struggling against teams like, what was it, Middle Tennessee and Miami of Ohio, like, 42-10, that's a beat down of Middle Tennessee, 17-0. But, like, it was a rough early on for Wisconsin. And if they start rough again, you're going to get behind and you're not going to be able to crawl your way out of this one. So Wisconsin's offense has been subpar even against bad lower tier opponents. I don't see them competing in this one. These teams played last year, and I know there's a difference in the rosters and there's been some turnover, but they beat Wisconsin 42. Alabama did 42-10 last year in Camp Randall. Now Wisconsin has to go to Tuscaloosa. Like,
all right, Kate, I'm in.
Alabama, we're laying the points. We're laying the points.
Now, Kate,
say,
when I originally was going through the slate, looking at who plays who, and I saw that number, and my knee jerk was Alabama will murder them. And I know I haven't looked at Wisconsin. I'm like, Alabama will murder them. There's a reason it's 20.
Yes,
and this feels like I mentioned earlier. Not saying Wisconsin is a Houston-esque quality team. Feels like those kind of games, like Alabama versus Houston, where they need to blow it out, and you gotta just gas pedal, hammer that sucker. You gotta murder. This has to be a murdering. I'm joining you right now.
Yes.
Yep. 100%.
Filibuster.
Shopping, like, if you can get a 21.5, great. You get under the 21 number. Did I say 20.5? You wanted 20.5 versus obviously a 21.
There's a 20.5. Let's go.
Yeah, grab the 20.5s. I've seen some 21.5, so obviously do your shopping.
That's everywhere.
Get the best number.
Except for where I'm looking.
Any thoughts on the Tide in the first half instead of the full game minus the 12.5 is what I'm saying?
Don't confuse me.
I would be fine with that too, especially with how Wisconsin's offense has struggled early on. In games. Like, this is going to be a pedal. What did you do, Colby?
Oh, gas pedal.
Gas pedal.
All the way around.
Early on for Alabama. At least it needs to. Like, that needs to be the game script for Alabama. Can they do that? I think so, but I don't know if they start like they did against Florida State, then maybe not. I would bet that they're up big at half.
Yeah,
this is a betting show, so I'm gonna bet that.
That's how I see this game going.
It's also a kids show.
We're all thinking the same thing. We might have a little panel moment, but yeah, Alabama, you gotta blow this one out of the water. Get the fans off your back. Give them something happy to be.
I'm actually really excited about this bet.
Going into SEC play because. How long till they have Georgia? Next game actually, they get a bye week, so it's 2 weeks away. But yeah, your next game's at Georgia. Get right at home against Wisconsin, and then have 2 weeks to prepare for that.
Oh wow, I don't hate that first half number. 11.5.
Is there 11.5 out there?
Wow. Okay. I already locked in the 20.5 . So I'm just letting the people know out there that's
I will
caliente.
Probably do the first half. Personally,
minus 108 on a book that taxes me. So glad I took the first half or a full game. Excuse me. happily taking the full game. Excuse me. Class. All right, where can we go next?
Do we need to talk about Billy Napier and the Tigers?
Yeah,
Can we do the big game? Can we do the big game first?
Do the big game.
I'm itching. I've been itching to chat. I didn't want to do it first because then you're just spoiling everybody. Georgia at Tennessee. I'm dying to know your guys' thoughts, so I'll give you mine real quick because it's not much. I lean initially with Georgia. That was my first thought. I'm like, Georgia has been coasting these first couple games. We know Kirby Smart does not cover spreads. Big game. I think Kirby wakes up. And I like that Tennessee has covered every game. I'm like, oh, this feels like hasn't covered versus team that's been covering every game. Tennessee's offense looks explosive and terrifying. But my biggest gripe about potentially leaning towards Georgia, going to Tennessee ain't that easy. And Josh Heupel is a great coach when at home. They did it against Alabama a couple years ago against Nick Saban. I don't know what to think of this game. I don't know what to think, but my knee jerk was the Dogs. But if you tell me something juicy, I could be. But also, Nate, we can't have another moment.
No,
we're playing Rocky Top. And they get embarrassed.
Yeah, that didn't look good against Ohio State. That didn't come through. Colby, I am in spirit on Georgia's money line. I have not booked anything in this game other than the fact that I do have a Georgia to be a perfect 12-0 ticket at plus 550. So I need the win, obviously, in this game. Now, I made that bet looking at Georgia's schedule, and I had like 4 games in my mind that kind of worried me. It was at Tennessee, it was against Bama, it was against Florida, it was against Texas. Now, from what I've seen, I'm not too worried about Bama or Texas coming into Athens. I'm not very worried about Florida either. I am very worried about the Dogs going into Neyland this weekend. Padge, I'm sorry. I think Georgia's the better team, but the way Tennessee has been playing, everything you're saying about Heupel, I think Joey Aguilar is the truth there. Perfect fit for that offense.
He's a good coach.
I'm worried. I'm worried about the Vols, but if that number keeps ticking down, I'm just going to be forced to play Georgia, personally. But that's kind of my thoughts.
I echo all of that, which is why I just took the over in this one.
There you go.
You have Tennessee's secondary that's going to be without their 2 best players there. So I think Georgia's going to be able to move the ball through the air. You have a Georgia team that hasn't allowed a sack at all this season. Granted, like, let's look at Georgia's opponents. Okay, we understand that. But I think their offense is going to be just fine against this Tennessee defense. So I think we're getting points. Like Gunnar Stockton, he's been a little bit more, he's been okay. He hasn't been great. But also, you have Joey Aguilar that has been great. So I think both sides are going to be able to put up points. I really wanted to take Tennessee. But this does kind of feel like the spot where Kirby Smart and Georgia wake up and they are just like, all right, we're still the Georgia Bulldogs.
Right.
So I'm just going over.
I like that.
That originally opened at 7.5 in favor of the Dogs.
Yeah. What are we at now? 4?
3.5. Now, using that Matt Fortuna thought, a lot of respect for Georgia. Are people too many people buying into Tennessee in the first couple of weeks, or just Georgia that big of a juggernaut that we're sleeping on, and they've been the top dog, pun intended, for the last couple years? It's real tough. It's going to be real tough. If it keeps going down, I'm with Nate. If it goes back up, I want to root for the dog because, hot corn bowl, I like all dogs.
Naturally.
Haven't said that in a couple of years. I was dying to bring that.
Hot corn bowl. I like all dogs. What? I don't understand.
Hot corn bowl. I love all dogs. Hot dog, corn dog, bulldog.
Nice.
Like them all.
Love a good corn dog.
Especially the underdog.
Yeah, the under.
Well, Georgia's won the last 8 in this series. So if that tells you anything.
Wow.
And Tennessee's had some good teams. I mean, they made the playoff last year.
Right.
Georgia also has had very good teams.
And I think it's still, the SEC, I think, still runs through Athens. I think Georgia shows that this weekend. We'll see. if I
Patch, give
actually
me
bet
one
it.
nice thing about Tennessee that scares you as a Georgia fan. One nice thing. Take your bias out of it. I do it every day. It's not that hard.
You do a good job of that.
Thank you.
2016.
Thank you. I get it from my father, who's never worn sports attire in his entire life that wasn't his. So
That's amazing.
Kate, I've never seen him wear a ball cap that has sports team, a jersey, a T-shirt.
One of a kind.
Nothing.
Does
Nothing.
Wait, like he wears stuff from when he played his own?
No,
gear?
no, like that is all I know he's ever won from being alive.
Not a sports
Like,
guy. Not a sports guy.
No, he is. No, he's the reason I'm doing this right now. Him and his father. The reason why I'm doing this.
Well, why doesn't he wear any sports stuff?
He's not biased. He's not biased. He has no
It's
bias.
a little extreme.
Wow.
My dad
That's
is
impressive.
my dad's very old school. Like if you ask him if he hates like flashy jerseys, he's a sucker for Penn State, Alabama jerseys. He wants those jerseys to look like they were just made for the freshmen.
Right.
That's amazing.
Oh, dude, he's awesome. He would hate if I like he wouldn't be great at this because he's shy. Shockingly, my father is the shyest man alive. Swear to God. Swear to God. You'll have to ask Ben and
What
Monty.
is your
They've met
mother
him.
like?
I get all my both their personalities are front and center right now. They're just amplified to max, basically.
Okay. Makes sense.
The best way to describe my dad, Michael Montgomery. That is actually probably his son. That is more closer to my dad than it is to me personality wise. Dry as all hell. And that was Phil Marcio talk for the last minute and a half.
Gotta love it.
Oh God! Hopefully my grandma's watching and she can be like, "Yeah, my son-in-law, he's
We
himself."
love when your grandma chimes in.
Exactly.
She's
Amazing.
the best. She's
Love
the
you,
absolute
Daisy.
best. What are we missing? Oh, Texas A&M Notre Dame. Shex, talk to me about that one.
Ooh, yes. Texas A&M Notre Dame top 15 matchup, I think. Definitely a ranked matchup. In South Bend this year, these two teams played week
Hold
one.
on. Pat said 23 and me. I missed that. I missed that. No, I look like him, so I know it's my dad.
You do. I have seen a picture of your
Spitting
dad.
image.
You look
Spitting
exactly like
image.
him.
Literally,
Yeah.
it's a copy paste.
Yeah.
We'll go on a Marcio chat one more time. If I was a woman, I would still look like my father. The Marcio gene is that strong. So thank God I'm a man. Take it away, Nate. I'll mute myself.
Oh, yeah. All right. So top 16 matchup. Texas A&M ranked 16th in the country. Notre Dame number 8. These two teams played last year, week 1 at Kyle Field. Notre Dame pulled off that upset. And now Texas A&M gets to go in and try and get revenge. I've got faith in Notre Dame. My initial thought here was it's the Irish. 6.5 seems like a lot because I do lean with the under as well. I think both of these defenses are really going to show out. Talking it out loud right now, I'm probably going to bet the under 50.5. That's probably a go for me. But I've been impressed with Texas A&M's offense. They have been able to move the ball much better than they did last year. But still, both these head coaches, both these defenses, it's just in their blood. So I think I lean under. I think Notre Dame does pull it off, but I would not be willing to back the 6.5. That's kind of all my thoughts.
I got nothing on this game
I
either.
didn't even look at the game. I didn't even circle it.
I put it on there because it's a top 25
You're
matchup.
a sucker for this matchup. You're an absolute. You love this matchup. I remember you bet it last year.
Yep, I bet it last year. I had Notre Dame's team total under 22.5. They scored 23 points, kicked the last field goal. So we'll probably do the same thinking. Just defenses, I think, are really going to show out in this matchup. So yeah, leaning under. I do like both these coaches. I do like both these teams. I want to see them succeed, but we'll go under.
I mean, I think this needs to be a win for Notre Dame because the rest of their schedule is so soft that come playoff time, if you have 2 losses against top-ranked teams, like it's going to be significantly harder for them to get in.
Mm-hmm. No doubt about it. I didn't even realize Notre Dame coming off a bye week too. Helps prepare them a little bit for that. Texas A&M, a couple of bunnies to start the season, beat UTSA and Utah State. Now they get a real opponent. So on the road. We'll see.
We got a lot of comments in chat about Ohio State. No, I will not be on Ohio this week. Next question. What do we got? What do we have
Had to slip that one
for Vandy, South Carolina? I hate that the line has dropped drastically in favor of people just hammering Vanderbilt, which makes me not want to be on this game at all because I initially leaned with Vanderbilt like everybody else, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to think of this or South Carolina team because I don't know. I mean, it wasn't the greatest performance against Virginia Tech in the first week, but this is a team a lot of people had as a potential dark horse going into the season with their quarterback potentially winning the Heisman. I don't really have any thoughts now that the line's dropped from 8.5 to 4.5.
Yeah, I can't say I have very many thoughts either. I would think this is a game South Carolina kind of lays the hammer down, especially with them. You know, they did start slow, I believe, against South Carolina State. I guess 17 second quarter points, but didn't have anything going in the first.
I mean, you're 42.5 point favorite. Slow start is what? Right. Not scoring in the first drive?
Exactly. So I still believe in the Gamecocks. I think they're going to be a good team. Do I think they're going to be a playoff national championship team? Probably not. I think Sellers is good, though. But on the other side, you got Diego Pavia, who's got a big old chip on his shoulder at Vandy. So I don't know. 4 points.
It's actually not 5.5. It just
5.5.
Yep.
I kind of like Vandy, I think. I don't know, though. I got no thoughts right now.
If you made me pick, I would go South Carolina at home.
Fair.
Yeah, I got it. I
beat them.
I don't think I want.
I beat them 28-7 last year in Vandy. So they laid the hammer down. That was during South Carolina's big old winning streak to end the season as well.
Oh, the morale boost to end the season. I remember that.
Yeah.
It was weird.
28-7. Both teams started slow.
Yeah.
Sellers, he looks like he ran all over Vandy. So, yeah, I don't know. No real thoughts here.
Yeah, I mean, not a strong opinion. I won't be betting it. That's just if you made me.
Well, kids, we got 8 minutes before the pickoff. What game have I not mentioned that we need to be chatting about? Anything that's super small? We got a lot of big games this week, which finally I'm happy about.
I was gonna put this on the rundown, and I didn't, but I think I like it. I think Oregon just runs over Northwestern this weekend.
More than likely.
You know, yeah, fully expect that. They played a lacrosse field.
Yeah, and Northwestern is without their starting running back. He's out for the season. Like, for an offense that hasn't gotten anything going, and now your star running back, who's like the heartbeat of your team, is out. I think Oregon's just gonna roll. The only like concern there is an Oregon team coming. This would be a lot different if this were in the snow. If this game were played in November.
Yep.
But like, it's just an early start for a West Coast team. 11 a.m. here is 9 a.m. out west. So like that.
As if they're not getting up at 5 a.m. for practice. Right. Yeah. Right.
So I mean, I would go ahead. It's 27.5. Big number. I just couldn't look at Northwestern here, despite them having what they won. Who did they play last week? A really small school,
Western Illinois,
5-0.
The Leathernecks.
I don't care. 42-7. No, I would take Oregon here.
Well, yeah, we saw
Northwestern. A lot of people were
Northwestern
sleeping on Oregon to kick the season off. They said people thought they were going to be overrated, and then that first game
over last week. I bet them to cover last week. Like.
69-3.
Nice.
Oklahoma State.
Yeah. Talk about a nice amount of points.
They beat down.
This is a Nate and I are Dan Lanning lovers. We're not supporters. We're in love with him. I think he is awesome. Oh my God.
I would run through a brick wall for that man. 100%.
Oh my God. I would force my child to love sports to go play for him. He's awesome. He's a really good motivator. I think he's very intelligent. What was it? Who did they play last year when he had the
too many men on the field?
No, the video or when you it was Wisconsin. It was Wisconsin. That was the video I'm thinking of where they played jump around. He's like, when you hear this, you turn the up. You turn up. I was like, damn, I wish I was aggressive. Damn, I wish I was good at football. I'm find Dan Lanning today.
It's all about finding the edge any way you can. And, whatever you got to do to get those extra intangibles for the team.
Oh, Kate, you're going to make me bet this.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
Oregon,
Son
too.
of a gun.
Yeah.
Minus 27.5.
Oh, is Woj
they're
on
gonna win
him?
by 35.
Who's on Woj? Woj, my friend Nick Wojcik.
Oh,
Woj
okay.
is on Oregon minus 27.5.
Yeah, I think you got it.
There it is.
Oh, I love Oregon. Oh, I hated knowing they were frauds like halfway through the season. I was like, this team is definitely not the best team in the country.
I failed to believe. You were trying to tell me, and I still had faith in the Oregon Ducks
It
all
sucked.
along.
It sucked being like, yeah, that coach we love,
Yeah.
not a good team.
Just waiting for their meltdown.
Oh my God. All right, we got 5 minutes, folks. What else we got?
One game I'm looking forward to. Nate Hornick, biggest Tulane Green Wave fan ever this season, for their 8.5 win total. And I'm hoping for another one tonight, or not tonight, this weekend against Duke.
Tonight.
It could be tonight. I already booked the minus 2.5 on Tulane. I think you can get a better number than me because I'm pretty sure it is down to 1.5, but they're facing Duke. This is let me start this way. I took Illinois. Took Illinois last week as they were going into Duke as a small favorite because Duke's quarterback, Darian Mensah, personal look-ahead spot. This guy transferred from Tulane, went to Duke to catch a bag. Now he's getting paid $4 million to play football for the Blue Devils. Coming into Tulane, he's got to face his former teammate, his former coach, a city that probably isn't very fond of this man. And I think Tulane's the truth. I think their defense has looked rock solid this season. So I got the Green Wave winning this game, just personal vendetta game against Darian Mensah. And I really haven't been that impressed with him this season. He, didn't do much against Illinois last week. I can't remember who they played week 1, but he started off very slow. Their offense really didn't get going till that second half. So I think it's a difficult spot for the Blue Devils to come in and try and win this game in NOLA. So I'll be back in the Tulane Green Wave. I got minus 2.5. Had to pay minus 122 for it. And again, you can get a better number than I did. You can probably just play that money line now if you'd rather. But I see the Green Wave winning this game, 100%.
Heck yeah, Nate.
My
My only small game that I'm going to look for is just the number on Toledo versus Morgan State. I'm just curious. Curious what the number is.
Are they going to give you a number? Like seriously, they will. You think so?
Yeah,
Mac
I mean it's
FCS?
there. It's there on action. So I mean it should come up,
Okay.
right?
Sure.
But it's definitely going to be one of those games.
And you're going to be at Morgan State, right?
God no, God no! I want the Juggernaut Rockets.
The Rockets.
Rockets, man, they're so awesome.
Coley, just wait till we get some Tuesday Maction. We'll be able to talk about games on this show too.
That's when I really want to dive into player props. That's the best. Being like, you know what? There's only 4 guys to pick from. I can find somebody I like. I can't do it when there's 98 games. I'm not going to put myself through that. Oh, I can't wait for that. Also, no, I will not be betting Ohio. I can't do it. As bad as I want to take that 30 plus, I think they get murdered. Sure, they'll be exciting for like 2 drives, but it's not worth it.
What's the number? Is it 30.5 or is it?
It's actually dropped.
I'm seeing 31.5 right now on Bet
I think
Online.
it opened at 32, 33.
Ohio's good. Ohio's good.
Yeah, but are they as good as Texas? And Texas looked terrible against Ohio State. Not saying 30 points bad, but you know what
I was going to say. Texas wasn't a 30-point dog, man. You're getting how many possessions? At least 4?
And
5?
what did Texas
No,
win by 14?
Ohio State is running over Ohio.
They'll win by 60.
Yeah.
Don't you dare do this, Nate. I know what you're doing. You're trying to trick me.
Parker Navarro season, man. Parker Navarro.
Oh my God. All right. We got the pickoff coming up in just a second. I'm going to go grab a water because I have another hour to chat with you folks. Danny Burke is down below waiting for this show to kick off because we got a lot of baseball to chatter about. Nate, Kate, you guys are the absolute best. Love seeing you guys on Tuesdays. Nate, I see you every day. Kate, I get to see you tomorrow. So
you do?
That'll be sweet.
I'll send you a little rundown later tonight.
Let's go.
I love a rundown. You have no idea how much I love a rundown because then I can actually prepare.
Yeah.
All right, folks, make sure to give us a follow. You see them all below. You know where to find our socials. We'll be live in just a sec. Let me go get an agua. I'll see you guys in a minute. I'll see you guys tomorrow. So see ya.
See you guys.
Yeah.
Boom. 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 I know this mic's on. I know it's on. Hey, everybody. I'll see you. Hello, we'll be live in just a minute. Give us a second. The Pickoff will be live shortly. Alabama, Tuscaloosa. What is up, everybody? Long time no see. Haven't seen you in 30 seconds. Thank you for waiting for us to go live here on the Pickoff. I am always Colby Marcio. And alongside me every Tuesday is the always handsome, kind, intelligent, smart, handsome Danny Burke. Danny, how are we doing? Happy Tuesday.
Hanging in there. I won't get too into it, but you know what I'm about to say. But yeah, football's back. We're talking baseball here, luckily, so I don't have to rant too much about what transpired last evening. But we're doing fine, my friend.
Danny, I haven't gotten to talk about it. So as the guy with the microphone, it is my show. I think it is warranted that we take, the next minute to talk about last night as Chicagoans. And plus, I don't want to wait till tomorrow to talk about this with anybody. So let me just say this. Chicago, look at me, baby. Stop getting your hopes up. Stop it. 1, stop living in 1980. Stop living in 1990. If you're a Cubs fan, you're going to be living in 2016 for a very long time. If you're a White Sox fan, things are looking up, sort of, but I still think you should not be living in 2005. The city of nostalgia lives on forever. It's forever. Now, let me pump the brakes. It's one game. I really do hate that it is feeling like, hey, it's going to be the same thing as last year. It's one game. I will say I hated that the first drive was the sexiest thing we really saw last night from the Bears. That's a massive red flag from me. Also, why did a rookie look better than a guy who's been playing a lot longer and should have been more developed? I don't understand it. There has been times where Caleb Williams did look great. I know this is a baseball show. Give us a minute, people. We have to vent before we get into America's pastime. We're currently talking about America's current pastime. Danny, give me your thoughts, and then we can dive right into America's former pastime.
Yeah, I might as well get into it. All right. So So let me just lay this out a little bit. I'll try not to go too deep into the weeds here, but you're right. Like it's one thing for Bears fans to get their hopes up. Like, let's just set the stage, right? I mean, this season, it's 7 to 8 wins realistically, but the main goal is to see the progress of Caleb Williams, particularly under what is supposed to be an offensive mastermind in Ben Johnson. Now, he has been as an offensive coordinator. Can he do both as head coach and OC? we will have to wait and see. It is very difficult. Few coaches can do it. Obviously, it's just one game. You can't get too nuts about Ben Johnson, but it was absolutely coaching malpractice there, Colby. Now, that 4th and 3, let's talk about in the first half, because that's a field goal that could have changed the game. They were going to go for it, then called the timeout, went for it, didn't get it. Now, yes, Caleb missed the throw. I'm also a big proponent in going for it on those short situations, but you kind of lost the momentum after you called the timeout, let the defense regroup, and then you're thinking about it too much. So that was kind of an issue. That challenge with the punch-out fumble, look, I get it. By the letter of the law, he didn't touch him, all this and that. You had to have known, based on the call in the field, there was a 0% chance they were going to reverse that call. Bears could have used that timeout. And then guess what? You don't know that Cairo Santos has no leg whatsoever. So not only do you let him try to get it out of the end zone, you didn't try to just kick it out of bounds, which would have sacrificed only 5 more yards, but you still would have got the 2-minute warning. You could have even tried an onside kick at that point either, but no, you let him kick it. Obviously, they're going to take it out. Santos is just an absolute liability, and he has been, yet they extended him because he's accurate from 40 out. No, we need someone who can kick 50 out. I mean, it's an absolute disaster that he is the kicker of the team, and you extended him. Caleb was atrocious. There's no doubt about it. There were some flashes that will come. Yes, the accuracy is an issue, but the fact that you get a pick 6 against J.J. McCarthy in his first start on the road primetime game, let him come back into this spot, is beyond inexcusable. And I think they will be okay relatively down the road, but it's just to lose to J.J. in that situation with the game and how it went is brutal. And the Bears did get hosed on 2 calls, but you cannot blame the officiating when you had umpteen other false starts on you and so many other brutal penalties. You got to clean that up yourself. So, look, big faults to Ben Johnson in game 1. He will be better. Big faults to Caleb Williams with his passing inaccuracies. Hopefully he'll get better. And a lot of the fault also goes to Cairo Santos. He will not get better. That is going to be a consistent issue. The defense was banged up. They did all they could for a while. It's not going to get any easier. It's a tough schedule for the Bears, and I'll leave it at that.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is the only football chatter you're going to hear for the rest of the day, because after this, I believe the W goes live. So let's talk about some baseball. I would like to tell the people what I have to sweat out for the remainder of the season.
Yes, sir.
The Mariners have to lose 10 games to close the season out for me to cash their under win total. The Rays have to go like 16-3. That one's going to be fine. The Rangers have to be the greatest team of all time to go over theirs to close out the season. I still need 3 home runs from Jose Ramirez, and I still need 4 home runs from Lindor. So that's not going to happen. I have accepted my favorite play of the offseason is not going to happen. What else do I have? The Washington Nationals and the Athletics are not making the postseason. Cry me a river. It was only because of the value. I only bet it because
I'm just like, this just seems like a really depressing start to the show overall.
Yeah, the Guardians not to make the postseason does not look good. Also, neither does Kyle Schwarber to be the home run leader. That doesn't look good either. Hasn't hit a home run since his 4 home run game, I believe. However, I also took the New York Spankies to have the best record for the most wins in September, because it correlates with me taking them to win the East. It was plus 700. Danny, I think you would have taken that bet as well at plus 700 for them to have the most wins when they have one of the easiest schedules remaining, and they're one of the hottest teams right now offensively, pushing for that numero uno spot in the East. Oh, I love talking about my team because everyone thinks it's biased. It's not. It's just what it is, because I hate that team with a passion. They're not going to do anything in the postseason. But, Danny, what other futures you got that you're sweating still?
Yeah, I mean, the only preseason one that I had that has life is the Phillies to win the division. They're like 8 games up now, so obviously they're looking pretty good in the NL East. Over the Mets are up 8 games currently. The other 2 I had have been long gone for a while. I just did a couple Cy Young picks there. I had Dylan Cease, obviously not great. Cole Reagan, certainly not great. But then I added someone we had been on this show over the past month or so. And again, a lot of discussing with you and kind of airing it out and seeing what was worth the value. And I did take Aaron Judge to get MVP about probably over a month
ago. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like a couple weeks ago, we were talking about Tariq Skubal when he was like in that minus 125, minus 150 range. I think it was minus 150. but I snagged him at AL Cy Young at that price. I mean, and now obviously it's completely shifted. It was ridiculous then, and it's still ridiculous now that they shrunk him down that much just because of that short span where Crochet was doing really well and Skubal had below average start here and there, maybe got beat up one time. So those are the two along with the Phillies that I'm clinging on toward. But outside of that, I wasn't involved too much in the futures discussion. But yeah, you and I have been, sweating out this Yankees team, hoping our take on Aaron Judge and the Yankees overall comes through. And let's be honest, it is looking better as the days go on, and they're making a race out of it right now.
Yeah, they got a really good week coming up in terms of just baseball fandom, enjoying them watching or playing the Tigers this week, and I believe the Red Sox later in the week. That's going to be just an overall great week to enjoy the game of baseball against two of the best teams in baseball right now. I mean, I have a play in that game later. I was talked into it by somebody on Twitter because I looked at it twice, and I was like, you know what? I don't know why I missed this the first time I looked at it. We'll get to that in a minute, but what are we missing? I feel like nothing happened since the last time we spoke, and that is the first time in a long time that I think I could say that. Nothing. It's probably because of football. Which don't like that.
It's definitely because of that, but at the same time, I mean, nothing has really changed too much. The Dodgers still have a slim lead over the Padres in the division there. Brewers still have a strong hold over the Cubs. And by the way, that Cubs series, it was kind of funny to see this, and you can get somewhat of an idea in certain spots now with apparently how the Cubs are going to approach these games. It was that third game against the Braves. The Cubs have won the first two. And then in that third game in the series, they sat out a couple of their starters. And then I think they took out Cade Horton when he had a really great game going. And they're just like, you know what? We're content with getting 2 out of 3. We're complacent with our spot in the division right now in the wild card. We don't need to go for the series sweep. I get it. You want to rest the young arm. You want to rest some of these players as you head into the postseason. But man, you still should be clawing for any type of advantage and momentum that you can get right now. And the thing of a wild card race that is not has no security whatsoever. Yes, realistically, you're not going to win the division, but I didn't care for that move. So maybe that's something to look forward to with the Cubs going down this final stretch if they're going to implement that type of strategy. Phillies extended their lead. We know Astros still with a narrow lead over the Mariners. You and I are anti-Seattle. They're on a little 3-game win streak here, but unfortunately, I think they're in another good spot tonight. I know we'll talk about that.
I can't believe they screwed me yesterday and still won. Went 0 for 4 yesterday in first 5 team totals. Had the Mariners, thought they would explode. I was like, oh, good. At least I can root for them to lose. Right. Nope.
A big FU to any investment that you had with or against them.
Oh, they're so annoying. And I feel like not a lot of people understand why we don't like them as much. They feel better on a day-to-day basis if you just looked at them like who they played over the last couple of days. But then you go look at the standings, they're almost not even in the playoffs. How good are they? I still don't know. I genuinely have no idea how good the Mariners are. I know what their potential is, and it's World Series. Potential 1,000% is World Series. They have a phenomenal rotation. They have a great lineup when it's humming. But it's a very inconsistent lineup that kind of roots for the long ball for the most part because of who's behind the dish. I think they're interesting. I would honestly not be upset if they made the World Series because that'd be sick for Seattle, who hasn't had anything since the Legion of Boom and has never had anything to really root for except for the 2001 or 2000 Mariners that had the most wins ever, whatever that was, and then lost to the Yankees. I would love to be wrong about them. I genuinely would love to be wrong about them, but I'm currently sweating out a season-long win total that I want to cash. Danny, that's all I care about.
As you should. Look, that's what this is all about, right? We gotta, we gotta be objective here, and we want to make some profit. That's the point of this whole shit thing. And I mean, obviously, if you're in the postseason, the potential for any team is to make the World Series. And I get it to a certain extent with the Seattle team, but I really refuse to let myself believe that. Now, the caveat to it is that the American League is kind of a crapshoot right now. Like, it's certainly more wide open than it's been consistently in the years past. So if there's a time for a team like Seattle to sneak up and do it, this would be it. But as good as the rotation has been and still can be, there has been the lack of consistency with some of those bigger name guys. Now, yeah, for example, tonight, like George Kirby taking the bump, like his underlying numbers suggest he should be doing better. On the other side, their ace, Luis Castillo, has been a very top pitcher of mine to fade in the second half of the season, and it's been great. That would scare the hell out of me during the postseason. You mentioned their offense. Now, while power is certainly monumental in the postseason, if that's your only sense of offense, that is also concerning. You're going to need situational hitting. You're going to need contact hitting. And if your MVP player is only getting the power hitting, man, if he goes in a slump, you're screwed. And sure, I'm going to bring it back to the Cubs. We bring it back to our favorite teams. But let's talk about that World Series run that we're going to be hanging out to probably for the rest of our lives. You remember that World Series against the now Guardians, former Indians. The Cubs were dead in that series, right? Until Chris Bryant finally hit that home run. Was it a game 4, game 5, whatever it was at Wrigley? And that switched things around. Like, it seems like it's going to be one of those feels where it's like if Cal Raleigh just completely disappears until he does something, then the rest of the offense won't go along with him. So that's kind of what comes to my mind, what could potentially happen to this Seattle lineup unless they just catch an absolute random streak of luck and skill offensively. I think they're going to be held back because of those offensive limitations and the potential red flags with the pitching staff.
I almost forgot to mention something to you, and I don't want to forget because I have a short attention span. That's happens with my brain. Danny, I took last Thursday the Royals to make the postseason at 10-1. 10-1. They're 2 games back of the Mariners.
I think they're 3 games back, right?
Well, yeah, I forgot they lost yesterday. 3 games back.
I was just looking at that.
But 10-1. It was 3 games back when I paid for it. 10-1. This is a team that has looked phenomenal since the trade deadline. They're a team that actually gets walks now. They've never been a high strikeout team. They put a lot of contact on the ball. When they're humming, they're a really good team, and they're getting back Cole Reagans, right? Is that who's injured? Cole Reagans? They're getting Reagans back this month. He just pitched in AAA, and I think through 7 strikeouts, he was doing really well over there in AAA. I thought it was the right time to buy. It's just the number. I was buying the number. They had like the 13th toughest schedule remaining when I paid for that. Middle of the pack. So I think it's doable. I don't really believe in the Rangers, and I just am hoping the Mariners fall. That would be just the perfect scenario for everybody.
That's fine with me. Look, Kansas City is a team that's completely underperformed all year, and now you're dealing with a lot of those injuries, and they have been, as you alluded to. I mean, Cole Reagans has been banged up. Seth Lugo as well. You also have India, who's been on the injured list. Bobby Witt Jr. is day-to-day. Not that that's as big of a deal, but the point remains that a lot of these guys are injured in the long term of the season, which is not going to aid a club like this that's just clawing and trying to scratch and find a way into that wild card spot with a few other teams ahead of them. But with that being said, based on the price you got, yeah, I don't hate the idea of just being still that close, getting some guys back in a reaching distance of getting to the wild card for double-digit odds or a little bit of pizza money on it. Just get a nice little sweat. Yeah. I ain't got no problem with that, my man. But, you're still hanging out to the Guardians to make the postseason ticket, though, right? So now you got 2 contenders. So it's kind of like
the Guardians are not making the postseason, Danny. The
Guardians, not, but you have the ticket, though, nonetheless.
Oh, yeah, I have the ticket.
Now you got a couple horses in the race, so that you're even more anti-Seattle for that.
I'm very anti-Seattle. It would honestly go ahead.
I was just gonna say the funny thing, like you were saying about the Rangers, and to be fair, I share the same sentiment. Like they got a plus 87 run differential, and we're kind of anti-Texas. The Guardians are at minus 40, and the Royals are minus 9. Yet here we are poo-pooing the Rangers, and it's just
they're
like something
banged up.
I mean, they are. And it's still like their
Corey
pitching
Seager's
staff
not playing. Yeah. Honestly, if Adolis Garcia becomes 2023 Adolis Garcia, then I will start talking nicey about the Texas Rangers when they've looked atrocious this entire season.
Somehow they have been hanging out.
They've been, I don't know, half the team that they should have been, maybe worse. They should have been one of the most dangerous offenses in baseball, on paper at least.
Yeah.
On paper, that is what I talked about a million times all offseason. I was so in on this entire offense, and they just look terrible. They're a terrible team. The pitching was the biggest question mark, and honestly, that was the most impressive thing that they've had this whole season.
Mm-hmm.
but they're not making the playoffs. They're going to go into a slump. There's
Yeah.
no way that team. They won last night, I believe. So they're still a game and a half back, right?
Yes, they are a game and a half back.
Yeah, I still don't buy into it. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for the Mariners to lose 10 games to close out the season. So I'm just anticipating the Mariners having that third wild card.
All right, let me ask you this. Out in the National League, is there any chance that the Giants or even the Reds could sneak up and take the Mets spot? Now, the Mets lost yesterday against the Phillies, got 3 more games at Philly. Then they play the aforementioned Texas Rangers, Padres, Cubs, Nationals, Marlins. First question, do you think there's a chance they miss it? And if they do make it, are they an early exit? What do you see for this Mets team?
They've been on my I haven't respected them once this season.
Yeah, I can't.
We know what the offense is. What's that rotation?
Mm-hmm.
I can't get into it. I can't buy into it. How many games back are the Giants?
3, which is insane because the Giants felt like they've been a nightmare this entire second half of the season. I mean, the fact
they've definitely heated up in the last month. They've definitely been playing great ball over the last month. They've been playing great ball over the last 2 weeks. I know that.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I would hate for the Giants to make the postseason when I wanted to bet them to make the postseason in May when they were on fire and it was like plus 100. And I was like, this is definitely a good idea. This is a really all-around solid team. They're gritty.
Right.
And then they crapped, and I was like, thank God I never bet that. Now I'm just like, please don't make the postseason. They're a fun team. I really like that Giants team. I've always liked that Giants team. If they played a little better from June, July, maybe I'd be more intrigued, but I don't think this lasts unless it's just like a last hurrah thing to close out the season. But they'll be better next year if they make some acquirements. I still like the rotation. Logan Webb's still one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. I can't think of another pitcher off the dome outside of the old man.
Robbie Ray.
Oh, yeah, tight pants, Robbie Ray. Forgot about tight pants.
By the way, the Giants' schedule is kind of tough, too. I mean, they see the Dodgers twice. They're in the middle with the D-backs, who are also only 4.5 games back. They'll see them twice in the Cardinals and the Rockies, though they do get the Rockies at home, so it's not volatile at Coors Field. But, yeah, it's a little too late, it seems like, for the Giants. But, again, the fact that they're only 3 back is worth noting. And when you talk about the Mets, like we were saying this all season, I mean, their pitching was just never there. That was always going to
name
be
the rotation without looking. Name the rotation.
I know it's Sean Manaea and Senga, and then I can't remember off the top of my head who's after that. Somebody we're always looking to fade, but
Rogers is on. Is the brother Rogers on the Mets, right? He's a reliever, right?
Oh no, Senga. Yeah, Senga's gone. I mean, he's been banged up.
Everybody's gone.
Yeah, I mean, Peterson, that's who it is. Nolan McLean,
David
don't even
Peterson.
remember him. Clay Holmes, yes. Jonah Tong. See, this is like my football brain right now. I'm just so out of place with this. But yeah, I mean, it's all over the place for the Mets pitching staff.
That's supposed to give you a run. You spent all that money on Soto. This is why it was such a D+ grade this offseason for them. Went and got a 9 more win bat with his WAR, going with his WAR. Its WAR is like 9, so you're getting 9 more wins there. Then you get nobody. You don't go and get anybody else. What are you doing? You're the most. What's the owner's name? Cohen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cohen.
Steve Cohen.
Steve Cohen loves to spend. Couldn't spend any more money on any other arms. You couldn't go and acquire anybody.
Well, that's what was so weird. It's like knowing they didn't do that. This was like a stepping stone season for them almost, to where if they made the playoffs based on what they didn't do, I would have viewed that as an accomplishment from the outside perspective. Then this upcoming offseason, you make the move for the arms. But yeah, it doesn't add up when you can spend that much money and you're getting that superstar player now. What are you waiting for? Right? I mean, you had to have known that was not a good enough pitching staff to get you through to a World Series.
What was the average age of that opening day starting rotation? 35? 35 years old?
Damn near.
Jesus. I mean, what are you waiting on? Lindor's 32. Pete Alonso's pushing 30. I think he's a year younger than me. So he's 27, 28 years old. Soto's pushing 25, or unless I don't even know how old Soto is, but I know he's under 26. So who else on that team's young? Starling Marte's old. He's been playing since I think I was in high school, it feels like. Old. That team is old. What is the average age of the Mets? 31?
Yeah, there's a lot of 30s on here.
That's a
Marte's 36, Mullins 30, Nemo 32, Siri 30, Soto's 26,
okay.
Vientos 25, McNeil 33, Lindor 31, Alonso's 30.
He's
Damn, Pete
30
Alonso's
years
30?
old.
That's crazy.
He's older than me.
Brett Beatty's
Wow.
25. Yeah, that's nuts.
So their young core is Soto, Beatty, and Vientos. They are screwed in the next couple of years.
Mauricio's 24.
Then they have Acuna's brother.
Yeah, Acuna's brother's 23, but I mean,
That's
yeah,
such a wild. This is why they're little brother of New York. I understand they've been great, but and I'm not saying the Yankees have done anything great, but they've at least made the World Series in the last couple of years. Like what? I'm just confused.
But yeah, so what's the stretch? So it's like now has to be your window, like from this season.
It's a 3-year window.
Correct, the 3-year window. So you're already eliminating 1 year because you have no pitching, and then you have 2 years realistically, probably just next year. Like you're really hoping that Lindor can keep his success going. And again, yeah, who the hell knows what's going to happen with Pete Alonso in 2 years?
Did he only sign a 1-year contract, right?
I'm not sure.
It was not a big contract. I mean, they took 9 years to re-sign him because they really didn't want him. And they're like, oh, we could probably get him for cheap now.
2 years.
What'd they pay? $20 million?
2 year, $54 million. Player option for the 2026 season. Making it a potential 1 year, $30 million deal in 2025 allows him to become a free agent after the season.
If I'm Pete, I'm leaving. Would you stay?
I mean, if management laid out a viable strategy for the pitching, sure.
I'd go to a contender.
Depends what the options are, but man,
he's going to go to the Dodgers. Let's just admit it. He'll be the DH. Oh wait, you can't do
or
that.
The Yankees.
I thought he was going to be a Cub.
Yeah, I thought a lot of people were going to be Cubs. Never happens.
My main handicap for taking the Mariners wins under this season was mainly because they didn't get a first baseman and they kept Luke Raleigh. I was like, you could have picked up the phone and called Pete. Now imagine that lineup. Now you obviously take out Naylor. That's a good lineup. If you got Pete Alonso and Cal Raleigh, and obviously maybe you have Eugenio Suarez, but also what has Eugenio Suarez done in the last month and a half? Nothing. It all comes back to the Mariners, Danny. It all comes
always does, baby.
To the Mariners. Such an interesting team. I know that people are probably like sick of hearing about us hating on the Mariners, but I want to be wrong. All right, let's get into today's slate. Honestly, I thought it was kind of a snooze for a Tuesday slate. I didn't love a lot. Ended up with a couple plays. I'll give out my quickest play first because the rating was insane. We're boosting Shohei Ohtani's home run to 255. I have to be on his home run. His rating over at Batters-Box is almost a 0.8. It's a 0.781. Takes on Germán Marquez. It was the worst pitcher on the day. If you know about the trends with Shohei when he has a rating above a 0.6, well, he's almost a 0.8. And all the trends for him just say he's going to explode. That's the trend. That's what we're backing. I don't have those current numbers up to date, but he hits the ball nearly 85% of the time, gets a hit nearly 85. I think it's 81% of the time, gets a hit. Goes over his bases over 50% of the time, over 1.5 HRR, over like 65% of the time. Homers around 30%, which is not the sexiest because we're leaning on the homer. I'm not taking his bases. I'm expecting him to have a monster outing at the plate, which is why I boosted the home run from 170 to 255. It's a short handicap. It's all backing numbers. Shohei Ohtani, highest rated hitter on Batters-Box, both current and default. Let's ride.
What's the highest rating that you've seen on there? That's just been like,
this is what I do miss about working with Monty when I was at Stadium, because I would always just talk to him he sat in front of me, and I'd be like, yo, what are your thoughts on this? Blah, blah, blah. Because he'd come in and I was already looking at the website. There's been a 1 point before. And Monty goes, I don't know how that happened. And the problem was sample size. So that's my biggest thing with make sure if you guys use Batters-Box, check the sample size because you'll see Jacob Marcy at the top probably has under or more than half less the at-bats than most of the guys this season. If he's had a lot of success early in his first 25 at-bats, he's going to be up in the list of elite rated players because he's making hard contact. Basically, to sum it up and like simplify the algorithm that is Batters-Box, hard contact. So if you make a lot of hard contact, you're going to get elite rating. You're going to have a good ISO, et cetera, et cetera. I think it was Reese Hines. I might have been Reese Hines who had the 1 point whatever, but I didn't take it that day. I think the guy got a hit, but I was like, I'm not taking this when the guy's got a 45 at-bat sample size and he's got the highest rating we've ever seen. I don't know what's like the second highest. I've definitely seen 8s. It's very odd. And like, the funny thing is, I don't think they have the greatest success when they're like astronomically high. Because
Naturally.
it's all just like the sample.
Yeah.
But if it's like Judge or Shohei, you kind of just have to be like, all right, you got to back the numbers sometimes. So I'm going to back it today. There was a boost. I wasn't going to pay the plus 170 because people were making fun of me for making a video on a plus 190 home run. Eat your hearts out, losers. I'm still going to make the videos if I hit a home run. Anywho, Danny loves an under in arguably one of the best games of the day because this is one of the better rivalries, in my opinion. Phillies, Mets, first 5 under 4.5. Tell me why, Danny.
Yes, first 5 under 4.5 minus $1.24 was the best price that I saw. I'd probably played up to about minus 130. Phillies coming off a 1-0 win against the Mets yesterday. The division lead is practically out of reach for the Mets, but still, it's going to be competitive out there. The weather is going to have some wind blowing in about 10 miles per hour. You got the Southpaw Ranger Suarez taking on another Southpaw, Sean Manaea, one of the 2 pitchers we can name on the Metropolitans roster.
David Cone.
Yeah, right. Oddly enough, Ranger Suarez, unless I misread this, has not faced the Mets this season. Now, the Mets actually, since the beginning of August, have the number 1 weighted runs created plus against lefties. Phillies are middle of the pack, but Suarez, he's allowed just 3 earned runs in his last 4 games. Last 2 games, though, he has allowed 16 hits. His xFIP has been 434 and 540, so that's a tad bit concerning. But like many pitchers, a guy who does perform better at home, and overall his numbers are great. 2.89 ERA, expected ERA is only 3.08, xFIP 371, high ground ball rate at 46%, 17% strikeout to walk ratio, so very reliable in that regard. Really low barrel rate at 5.6% and just a 30% hard hit rate. So I think he can mask the potential damage that otherwise the Mets would cause because he should be performing a little bit better than some of those numbers suggest as of late. So I think it's a good bounce back spot for him. And on the other side, Sean Manaea, talk about a guy whose numbers suggest he should be pitching better. He's given up 19 earned runs, in his last 5 starts, but his xFIP has come out to 4.0 or lower in all of those starts. He played the Phillies 2 starts ago, and his xFIP in that game came out to 0.37, which is outstanding. He gave up 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 8 Ks, no walks. Now, his road ERA is over 6, Colby, but his xFIP 259 on the road. Overall, this season, his ERA looks disgusting at 560, but his xFIP's 319. Again, xFIP people just, fielding independent of pitching, what he should be performing going forward. Phillies have been very middle of the pack for his lefties since the beginning of August in terms of weighted runs created plus. He also got an ISO of 178. OPS is 732, hoping for a lower scoring game here, under 4.5. Don't want to give these powerful lineups more innings than I need to, so that's why I'm opting into the first 5, just looking at the starting pitching as opposed to, again, those bats potentially getting some action and having to trust those bullpens.
We got a question for you, Mr. D. Do we like 6Ks for Ranger?
I haven't looked into it. I've kind of steered away from the strikeout props. Let me pull up some stats really quick, and Colby can filibuster for me here.
I was tempted to take Michael King's strikeouts today, but
yeah, I got some.
He's been in and out of being injured, I didn't want to take it. The Reds are a very swing-happy team. They've been very swing-happy over the last couple of weeks. I think his strikeouts was 4.5, juiced like -150. I was like, I'm not betting this. So if anyone wants to add a little leg to their parlay today, whatever they're betting, Michael King strikeouts over 4.5. I don't think it's a bad look. Michael King's one of the better strikeout pitchers in the major leagues, but he has been in and out of injury. I think he's had one start in the last month. Before that, he didn't pitch since May. This is also a guy I bet to win Cy Young, but I digress. Hello, Prindy. Hello. All right, what do you got for us?
I was just going to say it was like 21% is their K rate against Southpaws all year, and it's only gone up to 22% since August. So he's kind of volatile with the strikeouts. Yes, he's gone over it a handful of times, but it's up and down for him. I would probably stay away. I'm not saying that you should listen to me necessarily and do that, but if I was handicapping it, I don't know if there's enough value there.
He's asking you for that. So, yeah, listen to Danny Burke. And then Jay Dizzle wants to let you know that play isn't going to happen for the F5 under because Schwarber's hitting another 4.
You know what? If that happens for our guy Colby's sake, I'll live with it. That's
so nice of you. Maybe I'll throw you a couple bones.
There we go. See, I'm just,
I'll buy you your first beer.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Now, Danny's on the show. That means I got to talk about his favorite team, the Chicago Cubs, because they burned me yesterday, just like every other team that I bet. However, I think we're in a better spot despite the books telling me not so much. I'm getting the Cubs at 1.5 at $1.50 in the first 5 on their team total. You guys know my rant. You've seen the write-ups. You've seen the doodles. I put it in every single time. The quote, if you love an offense and they have it at 1.5, don't worry about the price unless it is above -180. Hey, anything below -180, 1.5 on an offense you have high hopes for to explode against a pitcher that clearly hasn't done well, because that's why you want to bet on them. It's a go. It is 1,000% a go, and I can be happy losing this because I believe it's a misprice, no doubt, if I win or lose. Because, one, the Cubs have the highest rated offense on the day, according to Batters-Box. Remember, yesterday was 2.5. Didn't happen. They only scored 1 run. Why is it 1.5? Remember, I don't think, the books must know. They don't know anything about baseball. Let me tell you. Because they also have 6 elite rated hitters, 2 rated great. When having a .397 or roughly around there, according to Batters-Box, the Cubs score 3 runs the entire game, not the first 5. But in the entire game, 64% of the time, that is a near 40-game sample size, taken on Spencer Strider, which is a rematch from last week where he gave up 5 hits and they scored thrice runs. At home, he's giving up over 6 hits, almost 3 runs per outing, and opponents have a .286 batting average. Last 5 games at home, 6.57 ERA, 5.08 expected ERA, 6.16 FIP, not the XFIP, Danny's favorite stat, just the FIP. I like that it's 6.16. Allowing 47% hard contact, 13.2% barrel rate, hitters have a 2.77 expected batting average, 5.04 expected slugging, 3.63 xWOBA. Again, gift. Take the gift. Danny, any thoughts on your team bouncing back?
I mean, look, what they've lost 3 games in a row. Spencer Strider, you laid it out. Certainly an unreliable pitcher. Wind's blowing out a bit. Warmer day. I dig it. 1.5, seldom are you going to get. And I get how frustrating this Cubs offense has been. Trust me, but I understand the philosophy. You've been betting this all season. Seldom do you get it at that price. And the Cubs still do have weapons there. If there's a time for them to bounce back, certainly seems like it could be tonight. So I dig it.
Please, God, I can't live through another 0 for night. I can't do it. I really can't. All right. Talk to me about this run line you got for the kids. Are you expecting them to surpass potentially the Dodgers shortly?
I won't go as far as saying that, but I think they're going to help their cause after tonight because, yes, the Padres run line is my next play at +120. We alluded to Michael King could be in a really good position tonight. He's been a stud all year. 3.27 expected ERA, only a little bit higher than his 2.81 standard ERA. XFIP not too bad at 3.79. Done a great job at limiting the home run damage, sub 10% home run to fly ball ratio, almost a 20% strikeout to walk ratio. Been tremendous at home. His xFIP 322, 512 on the road, just for reference. Reds are 25th in weighted runs created plus against righties since the beginning of August. Their ISO is also a very low 153, OPS at 697. Flip the script here. Zach Littell, he's taking the bump for the Reds. 381 ERA, not too shabby, Colby. However, 457 expected ERA. Kind of surprised you're not on the Padres in some capacity with me. This seems right up our alley. 434 xFIP for Littell, almost allowing 2 home runs per 9 innings pitched, 10% barrel rate, 41% hard hit. His xFIP has been bad the past 4 games, too. 12 earned runs allowed in that span. The average xFIP has come out to over 5. He's terrible on the road as well. Padres 6 in weighted runs created plus against righties since the beginning of August. They also have a really nice weighted on base average of 333. Certainly, we all know this. Goes without being said, but I'm going to say it anyways. They're playing with extra motivation here in this division race. Got to take advantage of the weaker opponent here in the Reds and pitcher in Littell, who should be due to get pummeled. So give me the Padres on the run line.
The problem with that one, you're right. I'll have to go look at it again. Maybe I'll add the Padres first 5. He's just had I think he's been better at home. And I just always skip past them because I think the stats are always going to be good. But, yeah, I need to go back and look at him after the show. But, yeah, that's a very interesting thing about Littell. Oh, also, we got to talk about something. Someone mentioned it in chat, and I'm upset that I forgot to write this down. Do the White Sox have to start building that statue for Colson Montgomery?
Well,
Cash Money thinks he's going to go yard. That kid would put me in the seats if I was a diehard White Sox fan. I would be at every possible game if I was a diehard White Sox game because I would want to go watch him play. He is outstanding. Mm-hmm. He is electrifying. Unless this is just like a hot start to a career that may end in a crumble, which I hope does not happen because he's very fun to watch. He shows up every single game. Every game I watch, he homers. He is awesome. I think he's tied for the most home runs after an all-star break by a White Sox rookie. He's definitely going to surpass that. We still have 20 games to play.
Look, the White Sox are this sneaky competitive team in the latter half. And you mentioned this at the beginning of the show. I mean, there are some positive outlooks to take away from this season for the White Sox. We did expect them to take a step forward, but clearly you're seeing that with the potential with, I don't want to go as far to say some of their pitching. I mean, I really don't like that rotation still, but yes, a lot of those young hitters. Yeah, there was more promise there than their hitters, I think, at the beginning of the year, but it's evident that is not going to be the case. But a lot of these young hitters definitely providing some excitement. So it's still a long ways away on the south side, but they are heading in the right direction. Montgomery is a blast to watch, man. And I've been to a couple of Sox games this year. It's fun, man. I mean, I'll rag on the stadium till the day I die, but those Tuesday $5 beer and hot dog deals, you can't beat that, man. I mean, especially after you go to the friendly confines and you're spending $15 for a Michelob Ultra. I mean, come on now. So I got to give him some credit.
Tell us how you really feel, Danny. Jeez.
I do disagree. Have you been to the Tuesday game? I think you'd be on the same page as me, my friend.
No, the slander you were giving the White Sox stadium. I think it's the most generic stadium ever built.
Oh, it is.
If you were to have a video game and you had to like level up to get a new stadium, you would start with the G spot. That would be your start off stadium if you were a baseball team.
It is the most generic stadium, dude. It depresses you almost.
Fantastic. It's so dark.
Yeah.
A night game feels like the lights aren't even on.
Skyline either. So I mean,
that was their biggest mistake. Who did that? Also, Nick Kurtz definitely goes yard today. I'm not on it, but I think he goes yard.
Hey, wait, can I ask you something while we're sorry to get back to this, but I've had this conversation and someone brought it up to me. You know how a lot of people have this where it's their goal to go to every ballpark in the country. And then, so they do that. Someone I know told me he was doing it, and he said that when he went to a Kansas City Royals game, he said that was his favorite stadium. Now, I've been there. I've been to Kauffman. It was okay. Nothing special. I feel like I would
like it. I've always wanted to go because I know they have good food.
They do have good food, but like what they got the waterfall. Sorry,
I think it's the scoreboard. The scoreboard.
It's nothing that special. I'm sorry to anybody out there who thinks differently. I didn't know if you had any hot takes with stadiums, but that's
don't take Nick Kurtz. Never mind. Don't take Nick Kurtz. Don't
take
your
Nick boy
Kurtz.
Dustin May.
Dustin May sucks.
Busch Stadium was a little underwhelming too, but I went there as a kid, so it's a tad bit different.
I'm trying to think what was underwhelming. I haven't. Do you know what stadium I love and has like bad reviews? American Family. I like it's Miller Park. To the people for us late 20-year-olds, that's Miller Park.
Yeah, I had a good time there. The tailgate there is fun.
It's so
Not
clean.
Too bad. Yeah,
so clean. I like that field. I've been to PNC. I understood the hype there. The concourse.
PNC I want to see.
The concourse at PNC is the size of a gangway in Chicago. That's how tight it is in the concourse. There's no room on the concourse. And I went for a poop game. It was packed and it was impossible to get around. So also, this was hilarious as somebody who's from Chicago and obviously knows about security. PNC, the line could feel an hour and a half long. You'll be through in 15 seconds. They don't check anything.
Yeah, you kind of get that at some of these places. Here's another hot take for you. Maybe not. You could tell me more. Went to a Yankees-Cubs game. Yankees Stadium. Severely unimpressed. Granted, it's the new Yankees Stadium, so not as much appeal with it per se, but just it was kind of like the Sox, when you're walking around that concourse area, it's like you could get to the one end to the other end very quickly. Like, pardon me. I'm getting choked up talking about stadiums. The difference between that and then with Wrigley, I don't know if it's a good thing. It's a little bit more of a mission, but it feels like there's more obstacles and more certain areas with it. So it kind of makes it seem like a more fun mission. I don't know if fun mission is the right word, but just different layers to it. Yankee Stadium was just very small. You could get to one end to the other. There wasn't anything necessarily special with it, especially because it's a new stadium, not as much rich history within it.
Never been to Yankee Stadium. Never been to either of them.
This guy's a fraud.
Never been to New York.
This guy's a fraud.
I am a fraud. I've been to Fenway. I went to Fenway last year around this time.
How was that?
I love the city of Boston. I actually hate that I love the city of Boston. The food, first of all, Fenway Frank sucks. Sucks. That thing sucks. Absolutely sucks. Having Sam Adams at Fenway Park was absolutely awesome, though. I will say that. I am baffled at how tiny that field is. It's overwhelmingly tiny. Like, I felt like I was in a kid's playhouse. It's very small. I'm still shocked people don't talk about how small it is, probably because it's such a historic stadium that we don't talk about the dimensions of that stadium as much as they do with Yankee Stadium. Loved it. Love the city of Boston. Hate their teams, but I can put my bias aside and appreciate when I see greatness, and I get it.
You think you could rip one over the Green Monster?
Oh, with a golf ball? For sure.
You don't got it anymore? Come on, baby.
I might. I haven't swung in a while. I don't like being that guy that's like, oh yeah, 100%. I hate how guys are like, if I don't have to prove it to you, I'll say yes. I don't know. I probably
if I gave you 100 pitches.
100 pitches, I could do it.
75, 80 miles per hour.
Yeah.
You get
you give me some good hacks in. Yeah. I got one more play. Oh, go
with
ahead.
The wood bat? I don't know.
Now I don't know about a wood bat. I don't think
metal bat. You can do it.
Oh, yeah. I'll do it lefty. I'll go Apo Taco. All right, I got one more play. Mr. D got me into it. I checked it out earlier today. I was telling you before the show. And I went back and looked at it. Game of the night, by the way, people. Tigers, Yanks. I don't know what I was looking at earlier, but maybe it's because this guy strikes out all the time. But it's a good spot for Riley Green to go over 1.5 bases. Plus 130, fantabulous price for his bases. Has an elite rating on both default current ratings on Batters-Box. I boosted the home run. So if you're like, where'd you get that home run? Boosted it. There's a million boosts out there. Go use them. Murders pretty much everything in Will Warren's arsenal. Will Warren in a big spot tonight. The rookie, can he come through? Can he come through? Will Warren is one of the more inconsistent pitchers on the Yankees rotation. If he doesn't come through, probably going to be looking good for the Yankees tonight. If Riley Green comes through, I cash these bets, and then I have to sweat my Yanks even more. So it's just an all-around fantastic sweat. So I think it's a good spot for Riley to come through. Yeah, love the prices. You can't get mad at these prices if he doesn't come through. But I'm very hit or miss on Riley Green. I think I've only cashed his props 3 times out of like the 6 or 7 I've taken him. I mean, that sounds better, but it feels worse. I'm going to tell you right. Losing, it feels terrible. So it stands out more, but I feel like I'm never on the right side of him. Hopefully I am tonight. And those are all my plays. So my plays are Shohei's home run boosted. Oh, forgot a play, Danny. Forgot a play. Excuse me.
Let's hear
Forgot to mention it. This one's got me nervous, but I kind of love it. The Marlins, first
baby.
5 team total over 2.5 plus 110. Fantastic price. 7th best offense on the day. Not the sexiest, but they're taking on one of the worst pitchers on the day, Mitchell Parker. Now, the Marlins have 3 elite rated hitters, 2 great. Last 30 plate appearances at home, 6 hitters are batting over 250. 6 have a slugging percentage over 407. 4 have an on-base percentage above 333. Mitchell Parker, 4th time seeing the Marlins, has allowed 3+ runs in every outing against the Fighting Fish. As I mentioned, terrible rating today. 2nd worst pitcher, allowing 42% hard contact. On the road, has a almost 6.70 ERA, allowing over 5 hits per game, almost 4 runs allowed. Yes, I had to do that math twice because I thought I was wrong. Almost 4 runs allowed on the road this season. Last 5 road games, 8.06 ERA, 5.86 expected ERA, 5.46 xFIP. Hitters have a 3.14 expected batting average, 5.14 expected slugging, 3.87 xWOBA. Those numbers made me bet this. I had to be on it. I think I mentioned Mitchell Parker every time he's pitching. He's horrible. He is absolutely atrocious. No matter where he's at, Fighting Fish in the first 5 feels like a 100% go.
Love it.
Love it.
It's tough to justify getting on a team like the Marlins, but yeah, Mitchell Parker is certainly someone who rings the alarm bells every time he's taking the bump. So I hear you on that.
I always say you want to back the worst team against the horrible arm. I think bad offense is always better than terrible arm.
Yeah.
Because these guys are pros. These guys are pros. If the pitcher's that bad and a bad team's getting out of me, probably is worth fading 100%. And then also I'm on Danny Burke's favorite team over 1.5 in their first 5. Hopefully they come through unlike yesterday. And then, like I mentioned, Mr. Riley Green. Danny Burke loves the under in the first 5 at the Mets Phillies at 4.5 minus 124. And the Padres run line at plus 120. Danny also said he leans with Ranger Suarez K's because there was a question about it from Mr. D.
No, I think I'd stay away from the K's.
Whoops, my bad. My bad. My bad. Whoops.
Ask me after the game. No, yeah. Yeah, then the other one, I mean, I'll just very briefly run through this. I think the Mariners are in a decent spot, but Matthew Liberatore, I mean, his numbers, they're not terrible, but, if the Mariners are going to get on this run right here, this would be the spot to do it because Kirby's numbers, 4.47 ERA, but an expected ERA of 4.10, a good strikeout to walk ratio. Cardinals dead last in weighted runs created plus against righties since August. Not a bad look. I don't think I'm going to end up playing it. I know people hate when you give out the leans, but that would probably be at the top of the list if you're looking for any other consideration. It's just like one of those things, Colby. They absolutely screwed you yesterday, and it's like, okay, if they're going to keep pissing us off, maybe try to get on the right side of it finally.
They'll definitely come through and score 58 runs again. That sucked. Dude, the problem with yesterday was I thought I was going to sweep. And I did.
Right. Yeah, you weren't technically right. Colby, all you have to keep telling yourself, going 0-4 is statistically just as impressive as going 4-0.
Oh, I'm not mad. It just sucks when the data is so spicy and you're just like, oh.
And let me ask you something really quick. You kind of talked about this. You took Shohei Ohtani to hit a home run, but you kind of, scoffed at the bases. Why is that? Is that because just the price is egregious for Ohtani with his bases? I got you.
I didn't even look at the price. I just know it's bad. If his home runs minus 170,
is
it's
it
gonna
gonna
be like
be
minus 140.
Oh, I was gonna guess like over minus 150. But again, you know that market better than me, so I have no idea.
Minus 135. That's not awful. I'm not paying minus 125 or greater or minus 120. I'll pay 110, and unless I'm in love with it, 115. I don't like paying juice on bases. I don't want to do it. So my suggestion for people out there that if you want to bet this, and you also want another cushion, you take the double. You should be fine with losing those two bets if he hits a triple or if he gets 2 hits. So I'm expecting a boom. So the boom would be double home run, in my opinion, because say he hits it to the wall, double. Sure, he's hit triples before, but save your rear end, because the double is plus 450. You're getting significant value compared to just taking the cushion on the bases, which I understand if you want to pay for, but 450 in boosted to 255. Would you rather be on those two at sprinkle than a full unit in $1.35 for 2 bases? I'd rather be on the max juice.
I hear you. Yeah, I guess the only thought from, again, someone who doesn't bet it that often is if he has that good of a rating, you're almost betting the bases too, because one, it's a good handicap, but then also to potentially cover the damages from the home run bet. But, that's, I mean, it depends, obviously, what your unit size is on the home run bet. I mean, you're going full unit, then you're obviously risking 2 then, and you're really getting invested on someone. But if you're throwing a quarter unit, maybe worth the cover just a tad bit. Yeah, a little sprinkle. But I get what you're saying with the double. No, that makes plenty of sense.
Yeah, when I would work with Monty, he would always say, home run, double, bases. I'm like, I'm not betting 3 props on a guy. I'm not doing that. I'll take the bases and the home run because those are just the most fun to watch. The double sometimes has more value than the home run. Like I just mentioned, plus 450 for Shohei. Some people would say there's a lot of value in Schwarber's double. He's a rare double, so I wouldn't do that strategy. I would lean more with his bases, even though I don't like taking Schwarber's bases, even though it is plus money half the time. Same thing with Cal. These are guys that are basically singular home run. I think if you want to be on any of them ever, just take the home run. That's my thought process.
Good deal. I like it. And obviously, you're not looking at Cal Raleigh to get a double, so we know that much.
Oh, dude.
Sorry.
Oh, you remember when that guy chirped me? He's like, Cal Raleigh has 16 doubles on the year. This was the point where he was a month and a half without having one, and then had 3 in August. Classic.
Uncanny.
I was like, when was the last time he had one? I was like, oh, he's had 2 in the last 4 days. Actually, I need to look now, but don't go anywhere, folks. The W will be live in 3 minutes. I'm looking at when the last time Cal Raleigh doubled because I think it's hilarious. I especially think nobody should take Cal Raleigh's bases, especially Cal Raleigh. I would much rather take Schwarber's than Cal's because it's very rare that Cal gets 2 hits, even though he got 2 hits 2 days ago. So Cal Raleigh's last double, August 25th. Before that, oh, wait, that's not right. Stupid. I hate when ESPN does that. August 19th was his last double, excuse me. And then he hit 2 August 15th. That's insane. 2.
Jeez.
It's very rare for him to get a multi-hit game. That's also the other reason why I say don't take his bases, because you're not going to get a high chance of him hitting 2 because, again, boom or bust. If he hits a single, it's probably game over.
No.
And he strikes out 40% of the time. People forget. I love those stats.
Now they just look the other way. That's all.
Yeah. Do you have any processes like that where you're like, I won't take this, but I'll take that type thing?
For other sports, sure, but for baseball, again, I'm not going too crazy with the props.
Yeah.
It's kind of like more the strikeouts, and I haven't done it that much this year, so I can't say for baseball that's the case. But every game, every player, every situation certainly deserves its own context, right? I mean, that goes without being said, and we know this. So I feel like it's good to have a guideline with something like that, but there certainly can be exceptions to be made, because if you're just sticking to the one thing all the time, you may either miss out on opportunities, or if you're doing one thing all the time, you may just absolutely hammer yourself in the wrong direction with it. So definitely want to have the room for an asterisk in there every now and again. But again, it is good to have that baseline of how to judge those type of bets in terms of, hey, I should always look to target this, or I'm going to avoid this, especially if it's at this price or higher, because I know where the market should be. I mean, that's a major part of the process. And I do feel like with those bases, since it's become a more popular bet, you haven't gotten that priced accordingly for quite some time. Same with, like, say, for football, an anytime touchdown score. That was an awesome market to delve into. Now you just get the worst prices from these legal jurisdictions, to where seldom is there value in betting those at this point.
100%. Yeah. And before we stop the show, Jay Dizzle makes a good point. Anytime Cal, Shohei, Judge, and Schwarber homer, bet the walk live. Take their next at bat, take it live, whatever's the better price. But, ladies and gentlemen, the W is about to kick off. This was a fantastic last 2 hours spending it with you guys. Danny Burke, thank you again for being here. As always, give Danny Burke a follow at Danny Burke5. I'm Colby Marshall. Give me a follow at Colby M. Betts. And here is W.
What is going on, everybody? Hour number 3 right here on the Betting News Network. Welcome to the show. That is Miss Kate Constable. My name is Sweatpan Jesus. Stoked to have you guys here for the third hour. You've already done another hour, so you had a little break in between. So good for you on the little pause. And then now we're going to jump in and talk all about the WNBA. How was the college try? Did you guys have some fun?
College try was great this week. I've had some differing opinions, which is always fun.
That's good.
So we'll go head to head on a couple of those. Yeah, I had a little break, ran to Walgreens to try and get some frozen pizzas. That's what's on deck for tonight. They didn't have home run and pizza, though. That's my favorite. And so I'm disappointed.
That is very disappointing.
Yeah. So we'll see what actually happens for dinner tonight.
What's your favorite? Absolutely. What's your favorite? Do you have like a favorite frozen pizza, like toppings choice? Like, is there one that you normally sausage? Just straight up sausage?
Yeah. I'm not a huge pepperoni person. Otherwise, just cheese, like very basic. Yeah.
Okay. What do you about? How do you feel about barbecue chicken pizzas? Do you like barbecue chicken pizzas?
I'll eat it. I would have like a slice. That's not something I could just like house half a pizza of. I like chicken on my pizza doesn't really seem like it should be a thing. Sounds like you like it.
Well, so in the frozen pizza, I don't order it like at a pizza place. Like that is not something I'm going to go and order. But there was this really good frozen pizza that I used to get that was a barbecue chicken one, and it slapped. So I would get that.
All right.
Because it was delicious. But like normally, I'm not going to go out and order one at like a pizza place. Like it's just not my.
I will never turn that down.
Yeah.
If that were like the only option, yeah, sure, fine. Barbecue chicken. But I'm not a big barbecue sauce on my pizza person.
Yeah. Well, then, that's not really the pizza for you then, I guess.
No.
All right, chat. Well, now you're appropriately hungry. I'm starving now after we talked about some pizza. Thanks for stopping by right here on the W. Hope you guys have enjoyed the last 2 hours with Miss Kate and the two lads talking on the old college try. You just heard Danny and Colby going through the last baseball slate, and now we are going to give you guys the moves on the WNBA slate tonight. We've got a huge slate, 5 games that we're going to talk about with you guys. And also, we're going to talk a little bit about the playoff picture because, Kate, we've got playoffs kicking off later this week. It's getting spicy. The spicy meatball. We're also going to talk a little bit about the MVP race. I want to get your thoughts currently where we sit right now, as we've talked about it the last few shows, just to kind of gab about that for a minute. And then we'll jump into, because we got a lot of games to talk about, and we'll get into what we've got. Chat, I'll just give you guys a little bit of a preface on this too. I have 6 wagers out tonight. Kate has 4. So we've got a lot of units deployed that is about to be dropped on you guys. So I hope you guys are enjoying hanging out with us and finishing off your work day to kick off the vibes. It's weird also at this point because now this is the first show we've done where there's been football.
Yeah.
So I really had to you veered talking football and now you're veering back talking the basketball. It's like a little precursor for when we get into NBA coming back. It's like when you got to turn on both of those brains and then have them really rolling at the same time.
Yeah. I've been very football focused over the last 2 weeks. So turning back to WNBA, it's like I kind of have to do a little bit more research and digging just to make sure I'm on top of everything that happened in all these games and stuff and like who's playing well. And the playoff picture is just confusing because it's so close that there's a little bit more that goes into it. But I mean, we're still going strong until it's over.
Oh man, and like you said, it's spicy. We've got 2 games. Most teams have 2 games or 1 game left in the regular season. We're going to talk about a lot of them tonight. The playoffs start this weekend, so we'll talk about kind of the matchups we're looking at. We'll look at the live playoff picture right now. Yeah, 10-unit Tuesday, exactly, Kev. Also, lots of cups of coffee, but my unit size is bigger than a cup of coffee. Not to say that like I no unit shaming, but the cups of coffee is the distribution on a parlay. That's lots of cups of coffee have been laid out for sure, 100%. So yeah, glad to have all you guys with us in the chat. We got Goats excited for the WNBA, which we're stoked to get to. Let's talk about the standings, Kate. So here we go. This is what we're looking at right now. 2 games left right now. The Lynx clinched. They're at the top. They're number 1. They're not going anywhere. The Dream now are number 2. The Aces were number 2 last, but this could flip-flop depending on what happens tonight. The Mercury directly behind them, which that could also change depending on what happens tonight with the Mercury. The Dream, the Aces, and the Mercury in the 2 through the 4 spots chat are like a game and a half apart, pretty much, at this particular point. The Liberty at 5 are a little bit further behind. They play tonight as well. The Valkyries, also congratulations to the Valkyries for clinching their playoff spot. Shout out Austin as well for helping me cash that earlier in the season. Fever got over the line. We were kind of wondering if they were not going to be able to get there. And then we got the Storm and the Sparks. Those last 2.
They've been sitting in those final 2 spots for a long time.
Forever.
No one wants to take it.
They really don't. And the crazy thing is we've got 2 games left for both of these teams pretty much. And like, if the Sparks lose tonight and the Storm win, I'm pretty sure that's it, right? Isn't it like
so the Storm have 1 game left tonight?
Right. Last chance.
Yeah, I think that's right. Like, I think if the Sparks win out and the Storm lose tonight, the Sparks I think are going to jump the Storm. Does that sound right? It's all this.
The Sparks have 2 games left, so they're 20 and 22. So one of their 2 games is tonight. And then the Storm are 22 and 21. They do have 1 game left, which is tonight. So if they lose and the Sparks win, that means that their last game of the regular season, which is on Thursday, I believe,
is going to kind of be whether or not they situation. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. If the Storm win tonight, I'm pretty sure it's cooked for the Sparks. That game is also, both of these games are later, which is interesting too.
Yeah.
So yeah, crazy stuff. It's obviously kind of the dominoes have fallen over the last couple of weeks as we've talked about and where we're at right now. But you still got, even though the Dream, the Aces, and the Mercury have all clinched, they're still vying for those positions because there's a bunch of difference right now between the 2 seed and the 4 seed. Like, I would not want to be the 4 seed having to go in and play the Liberty in the first round right now. Like, regardless of how the Liberty have been playing, I don't want to see that team, a championship team, in the first round,
Yeah, no, I would not either. And it's interesting, like, right now it looks like if things stand how they are, the Liberty and Phoenix and the Mercury playing each other in the first round, like, then the Aces get the winner of that team in the second round, which you're Minnesota, what are you, 33-9? You're up by 4.5 games in the standings as the top seed, and your second round is against either the Liberty or Mercury. Like, that's a tough draw for as good of a season as Minnesota has had.
Yeah, absolutely. That 2 spot is just looking tasty. Like, the Valkyries, great story. The Fever, obviously, and the Storm. I think it's going to be either one of the 2 between the Fever and the I guess the Fever kind of set, but they could get leapfrogged by the Storm, I think, by tiebreaker, I'm pretty sure. So that, like, either the Storm or the Fever, I really wouldn't want to play the Storm either first round, but the Fever maybe would be in. Yeah,
I'd want to play the Fever first round.
Neither are Valkyries. I mean,
Yeah.
Valkyries have been a great story, but they're still first year in the playoffs. Lots
Yep.
of players never been there before.
Yep.
If you had to choose, right?
Yep.
But I think all of those three of those teams, who two of them we're going to talk about playing tonight, and the Dream got the job done. They played last night, wasn't it? Last night. They all want that 2 spot. They don't want the 4 because they don't want to have to play the Liberty first round.
Yeah.
And like you said, be in that side of the bracket too, for that aspect of things. But so there you go, guys. There's the layout of the standings as we're sitting right now. A lot of these teams are playing tonight. So we will kind of talk about each individual game with you guys in just a minute. Before we jump into the games, you got anything else you want to say about the standings?
No.
No?
I think we're good there.
All right. I just want to talk real brief. I don't have a graphic for this, but I want to talk real briefly with you about the MVP discussion. Now, we've talked about it a lot the last few weeks, and right now the betting favorite, I can't see the line anymore because they've removed it from the market.
Mm-hmm.
The ticket that I have for Asia Wilson at 45-1 to win is no cash out option available anymore. It was about it was like I bet like $6 on it. My friend NZ bet about $10 on it. It was about a 3/4 cash out when I looked, and now it's not available anymore.
I mean, I wouldn't cash it out. I mean, you can't.
Right.
I wouldn't.
I can't now, but
yeah.
Do you think that she's got it in the bag? Do you think that
I am looking at one book that still has it up because you're right. It is gone pretty much everywhere, and it's Asia Wilson -360, Nafisa Collier +275. I don't like it.
Isn't that
I don't like it. I like it for you because you have a 45-1 ticket.
Yeah, for sure.
For you to cash that.
Thanks.
But Nafisa Collier has played well the entire season. Like, she has been the top player in the league all season long, where Asia Wilson's just come on as of late. And it's not that Asia necessarily was bad to start the season, but like, her team wasn't winning. And that's part of the MVP, is like leading your team. Her team sucked for the first half of the season.
Oh, they were bad. Yeah.
She was putting up stats, but like, your team still sucked. Now, I don't think her team would have turned around and won 14 straight if it weren't for her. So that certainly has to factor into it. I think whichever player wins, and these odds aren't up, there's no market for this anymore, but whichever player wins MVP, the other will win Defensive Player of the Year. That's the consolation that player will get.
I can agree with that sentiment. I mean, again, I'm very biased at this point because I really want Asia to win because I have that ticket. But I think also this kind of reminds me of the discussion about in the NBA about SGA versus Jokic.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pretty staunch that Jokic should have won it last year, even though SGA ended up winning it because of voter fatigue. And he was on the best team, and he had a great season, so you can't really counterbalance that. But like, I've always had this, and I feel this way about the NBA when I feel this way about the Dub as well. I think that it is the player that if you take this player off the team suffers the most. Like, it is the player that means the most to the production and the winning value of the team. And I think looking at it this season, especially what we've seen over the last 20 games as well, if you take Asia Wilson off this team, now I know she was there for the first half of the season too, so, whatever. But the Lynx still have a winning record without Nafisa Collier. They have a great roster. So you can't really chalk that up against her on the fact that they have a good team, because they're a great team, right? Yeah. But I think that if, for my head, if you take Asia off the Aces, they're worse, like way worse. If you take Nafisa Collier off the Lynx, they're still not great, but they're okay. Yeah. They're manageable. So that's my kind of head
above water.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Aces with Jackie Young and with Joel Lloyd and those other pieces they have would probably flirt with making the playoffs, right? But like, without Asia, that team's not the number 2 seed or the number 3 seed. No way. Whereas the Lynx, I still maybe think could be flirting top 4, possibly. Yeah. But again, my opinion is very shaded at this point because I have that 45-1 ticket that I really want to cash. So this would be the greatest CLV ticket I've ever had in my life. So
yeah. That's why I'm very jealous. And I think he will. I think with the Aces run, and you're right, like, Nafisa Collier off the floor and she missed time. Like, she literally was off the floor for a significant time. And
she's not going to play tonight.
Still won games, and they were still good and still beating teams by margin. It wasn't like they were even just squeaking by in a lot of those. So I totally agree with you on that Asia Wilson, without her on the floor, the Aces are worse. Significantly worse than without Collier on the floor. And that is part of the MVP.
Sure. Rebecca Lobo posted a good, and I think Rebecca Lobo's opinion is a little more your original opinion of thinking that Collier should probably win the award in general. But she was saying that it's basically about, it's kind of like it was a couple of years ago, how the voting is just going to be, it's going to be very close this year because of what we've talked about with the team being the best. But I really think, and this might be the reason, and Collier's not going to play tonight. We'll talk about that game in a minute, but I think her missing that time is the reason why this has happened. Yes, the Aces have won 14 games in a row, and Asia's been, I mean, just incredible. We'll talk about that game too, or them playing tonight too. But I think her missing that time with that back problem and then the ankle and like that, those combo of things. And now I think they're just resting her for the playoffs because they want to go win a championship, which makes total sense. I think missing that time was the kind of last, like, okay. And I feel like tonight, if Asia has one last big game against the Sky, which you know,
it's the Sky.
I mean, she's foreshadowing. I might be betting on it, but she should, right? Yep. I think that might be the nail in the coffin, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see how it's transpired, and also it's very cool for the WNBA that we didn't even talk about AT, but Alyssa Thomas has been amazing for the Mercury. Set the record in the WNBA this season for most triple doubles. Like, if Asia wasn't amazing and Anisha Collier wasn't playing the way she is, AT would win the MVP.
Yes.
Very deservingly, right?
There are multiple players that have had MVP type seasons. It's just who's had the best MVP type season. And that's probably, I mean, I still think all season long. If Collier wasn't hurt, I think she would win this award.
I don't think we'd be talking about it.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be a discussion.
You miss time, and that's part of the game. Like, that happens in the NBA too. Those odds fluctuate when players go out in the NBA. In fact, they even implemented, like, you have to play what is it,
65 games?
Yeah, because if you miss time just because you've had a great stat line leading up to that time or whatever, doesn't mean. And obviously for like the load management issues, that's part of that.
Sure.
So I mean,
Joel Embiid rule.
Yeah, very deserving. I mean, I can't argue with her. She's been absolutely dominant over the last couple of months.
Isn't it cool that we've talked about this league all season, but we're at the point now where you've got 3 deserving candidates to win the award. And I mean, we can both agree that Caitlin Clark, if she would have played the whole season with what she means to the Fever, could have been in that discussion as well. So you've got 4 bona fide players that, you know, can be in that perennial conversation. That just goes to show you where the league's at right now, which is pretty awesome. So, it's going to be fun to find out how it plays out. The last couple games could be we'll see what happens. And I think you can make an argument, like you said, for either side. And shout out Padge for writing. Actually, I think Padge put money on Asia and AT at that point, because we were talking about if Collier misses time, there's value on both of them. It's been a fun ride. So, all right. Well, Gad, a little bit about that. It's obviously a hot topic of conversation. And I think that like you mentioned, you can make good conversations. I've seen lots of big time Dawn Staley. I've seen Rebecca Lobo, a lot of people kind of having takes about who they think should win. And we're going to find out who's going to be the eventual winner here. When is the actual award? You know the W a little better than I do. Do you know when they announce the award?
I want to say they announce it before the finals, similar to how the NBA does it, right?
Okay.
Because the NBA announces the awards throughout the playoffs, like one week each award or whatever, and they do MVP right before the finals. I think that's the same, but don't quote me on that.
They did the MVP. I remember they did the MVP before Game 7 between the Nuggets and the Thunder, because I thought I made a funny joke that I thought it would be funny if they just gave the award to whoever won the Game 7.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people were thinking. Yeah,
I know. I thought it would have been cool. Did you have an opinion on SGA or Jokic? Did you think that SGA was deserving, or did you like?
I think SGA was deserving, but I think there was voter fatigue with Jokic because Jokic's numbers were better than any of his former MVP seasons. So how do you say he's not the MVP when he's putting up better numbers than when he was the MVP? So I think there was some fatigue there and wanting to get new blood in the MVP conversation. And, but I mean, SGA was deserving. He had a great year. So I don't know who I would have voted for. I would probably have voted for Jokic.
I would have voted for Jokic too.
Yeah.
It would have been, they should give us votes, don't you think? They should. I was really mad. We're going to get to the games in a second, chat, but I was really mad at Sook because during all sauce team last season, near the end, we got to like the last maybe 20 or 25 games, and he was like, I was trying to make a vehement argument for Jokic because all the things you just said, best season of all time for him specifically in the NBA, like it was his best statistical career. The Nuggets would have been fucking awful without Jokic last year.
Yes.
And SGA, the Thunder were amazing, but without SGA, they still probably would have been fine. And he was like, dude, you can talk to a wall. He ain't winning. SGA's winning because of voter fatigue. Like it's gonna happen. Like you can make all the great arguments you want, but it's not gonna be a deal. So I'll be interested to see maybe that plays into it because Asia's won a lot of MVPs.
She has. She's won a lot of MVPs and a lot of Defensive Player of the Year, and
maybe that plays a factor in this one. Do you think, last point on this, then we can move past this. Do you think, you talked about the load management thing and how they have to play 65 games in the NBA. Do you think that even though the season's shorter in the dub, that they will implement that moving forward as the league grows and gets bigger? Because there's, 44 games, but you got to think, you got to play 75% of the season. So what's that, like 30, like 27, 30 games, something like that? Do you think they'll add that into the rules? Does that exist in the rules right now? I don't think it does, right?
I don't think it does. And 44 games a season, no one should be load managing. No.
Yeah, facts.
No. You want to grow your league? We're not load managing with 44 games. Like that would annoy me when Kelsey Plum earlier this season talked about like the fatigue. Like you don't play that many back-to-backs. You're not playing back-to-backs with travel. Like it's not the same as the NBA. Play the games, be out on the floor if you can. Obviously, if you're injured, that's a different story. But a 44-game season, there shouldn't be load management.
The only argument I'll give, I agree with you 100%. The only argument I will say is the depth in the NBA is way substantially better in the WNBA. Point. They don't have a lot of these teams. So some teams have decent benches, the Lynx being one of them, which is why they're so good. But a lot of these other teams, they don't have bench players. Like they have bench players, they got bodies, but they're not substantial WNBA good players, right? So I think that's a little bit of a color thrown on it, but you're right. Like they shouldn't be load managing on a 44-game season. No. So
Give it 5-10 years and maybe we can load manage then. But I think the league has to be bigger and more robust before, because what happens if people load manage and you're going to a game to see the stars, like for a fan's sake? I don't want to go to a Lynx game when Nafisa Collier's not playing. Like, they have a lot of good players, but and so all of a sudden the people buying tickets, showing up, you still need to continue the momentum. So I think it'd be stupid to allow load management right now in the W. But as they expand, get more teams, that makes the bench even thinner, probably because of the talent pool is just smaller in general. Then maybe that's a conversation you need to start having. But that could be they have 2 new teams coming next year, or 1 in the next 5 years. They have 4.
Three for sure in the next 3 years or 4 years, and then I think it will probably expand after that, depending on how this CBA goes, right?
That's a good point. The CBA,
I on that load management point, and then then we'll jump to the games. I went to a Grizzlies game last year, and I was super stoked because it's around it's like 3 hours for me. I hadn't been to a Grizzlies game ever, so it was first time going to FedEx Forum in Memphis, which was awesome. And I was super stoked because they were playing the Nuggets, so I was going to see Jokic. I was going to see, Jamal Murray. I was going to see Ja. I was going to see, I thought I was like, oh, this is going to be kick ass. Got great seats. Jokic was out for a load. He was dealing with some sort of problem, but he was
load managing.
He was taking the night off.
Yeah.
Ja was dealing with also some problems, but he was also kind of taking the night off. Jamal Murray played, which was cool, but I did get to see Russell Westbrook's record-setting triple-double that night, which was pretty fun. Yeah. But I was very disappointed as a person that bought tickets a month in advance and then got to the game, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm not going to see these guys. Man. It's the same thing. So all right. All that saying, let's get to these games. 5 games tonight. Lots on the line for lots of teams. We'll kind of talk about each individual one. I'll let you tee us up. Where do you want to start?
Let's start. Let me pull up the schedule here. Let's start Mystics Liberty.
Mystics Liberty. Bang. All right. Get out of here.
Liberty 13.5-point favorite. Total 157.5. This game means absolutely nothing for the Mystics, who are out of the playoffs. I don't believe it means anything for the Liberty either. Did we say the Liberty are locked into a spot? They could move.
I think they are 5th currently, and I think because the Valkyries don't have enough games behind them, so they are 5th. So they are 5th.
So it doesn't really matter for them. What I think matters the most in this game is this is the first time the starting 5 is all going to be playing together, which is crazy. But that's with Emma Mieseman coming in mid-season. And then Stewie was hurt and Sabrina was dealing with some stuff. So I think it's going to be a lot of kind of just trying things out, getting comfortable playing with each other. So I don't think they're necessarily going to care to cover the 13.5. Obviously, they're going to want to win and gain some momentum going into the playoffs. But this is such a hard one for me to bet on because I don't know what we're going to get from the Liberty in terms of minutes wise. Like, do they decide to sit their starters or their players later in the second and kind of give them a little extra rest? Do they decide to play them more because they want that starting five to have some continuity and some experience playing together going in? So this is just a stay away game for me altogether. I think if I had to take anything, it would probably be Sabrina's points, just because she's someone that I know I can trust. But that's assuming that she plays her full amount of minutes tonight.
I think the point is good, that the fact that this team has also been sputtering over the last month, whether it be by injury or just chemistry lacking from not playing together or whatever. Like, they need a couple good games under their belt to kind of roll into the playoffs with a little bit of momentum. So I could think that this could come out and be one of those situations where they do that tonight. Who knows what we get from the Mystic side? Kiki Iriafin has been fantastic over the last few games, just kind of closing out the season. She's a rookie. Her and Sonia are probably wanting to still play out the rest of the season, do good with their coaches. So that type of deal. So maybe they come out and want to play ball tonight. But yeah, tough to see. I wouldn't want anything to do with a spread. I wouldn't want anything to do with the total necessarily. I don't think there's any value there. I did take a prop in this game. And it's kind of just because I lean with you on the fact that the starters are probably going to play 25 to almost 30 minutes, regardless of what the results are, purely off the fact that they need the reps.
Mm-hmm.
So give me Brianna Stewart over 5.5 rebounds. It's a little juiced. So I paid the juice man a tiny bit, but she had 7, 5, 6, and 9 in her last 4 games. But this is about her success against this team, this Mystics team. 9 and 11 in her last 2 games this season. She had a 3-piece earlier this year, but that was in May. I don't really quantify that at this point of the season. And but dating back to last year, she hit this line with ease in 4 straight matchups against Washington too. So I think she's going to hit the glass tonight, be aggressive, probably want to get, take care of business. Again, play well, put some good stuff together between everybody else.
Yeah.
And I think that her boards makes a lot of sense. You can go PR if you want, if you think Stewie can score. I do like your play or your mention of Sabrina, especially because she's been a little bit in and out of the lineup too. She's probably going to want to get all things tuned up right before we go into stuff. So yeah, I like that too. But of all the games tonight, this one and maybe the Aces game, kind of a stay away spot in total, from a implication perspective, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's keep. Anything else on this one you want to mention before we keep it rolling?
No, I'm good on that one.
Sounds good. All right, let's jump to this game. Then we kind of talked about this team a little bit earlier. The Lynx. This game is really interesting. The Lynx taking on the Fever tonight. Both of these teams have clinched, and both of these teams are pretty much locked into their spots here. No Nafisha Collier, like we talked about earlier. 2.5-point dogs are the Fever at home. Looking like we're going to get full lineups for the Fever here. No Collier, like I mentioned, but Courtney Williams and company and Caleb McBride, et cetera, are going to be playing for the Lynx. They probably also don't want to take their foot off the gas here, as they want to kind of go into the playoffs with a little bit of momentum, even without Collier. Over-under set at 163.5. What do you kind of think about this game? A little bit of a tougher situation, close spread. I think this would be a lot higher spread if Collier was playing, if there was more implications on the line. What do you think about this one?
I lean towards the Fever to cover the spread. I think even without Collier, the Lynx should be favored a little bit more on the road. So I think that line is telling you that it's going to be a Fever game tonight. I like Kelsey Mitchell over her points. She's going to have the green light, as she does every game, to basically shoot whatever she wants. She scored 20, at least 20 in 2 of her last 3, 6 of her last 10, and had 26 and 27 against Minnesota in those 2 matchups this year. So this is a Kelsey Mitchell game for me. I think she's going to go off. And then I also like Jessica Shepard for the Lynx. She usually comes off the bench, but with Collier out, she will start today. And she's had 11 starts previous with Collier out this season, averaging almost 12 points and 10.5 rebounds in those games that she started. 6 double-doubles in those 11 starts too. So she's putting up plenty of points, and the double doubles typically come in the points and rebounds market, which is why I'm going to go over 26.5 points and rebounds for Shepard tonight. Just thinking that she's going to get some extra run, more opportunities to score, more opportunities to impact the game, being in the starting lineup. And she's fared very well against Indiana. She actually had a triple double against them earlier this year. So Jessica Shepard is my look for the Lynx today.
Yeah, I like that play, especially with no Collier. Even with Collier in the lineup, she's been very good. They're going to need her too to be good in the playoffs if they want to make a championship run. So, chat. Here's your panel moment of the day. Kate and I both. This has happened now, I think 3 or 4 weeks in a row at this point since you've been on the show. Yeah, it's worked out pretty well most times too. We are on the same play without talking about it before the show. I love Kelsey Mitchell as well. I got 19.5. I paid a little bit of juice for that 20 plus, just because I don't want to get cut by the hook. But like you said, she's cooked this team. She's been really good. Coming off a little bit of a bad shooting night too. I love taking good scorers off a bad shooting night. She still had the volume, just didn't get over the line. They ended up winning that Mystics game substantially, so she probably didn't play full minutes anyway. But this is a game. This feels like the type of game where I feel like both of these teams don't have to come in and play with a lot of pressure. They can kind of play, it'll maybe not feel like a scrimmage, but they can kind of like let loose a little bit and kind of maybe get in the zone for in the playoffs, but not have all the implications on, you know what I'm saying? Like just feel free and loose. And a lot of times scorers just get going in those games. They just get it moving. And then you look up and she's got 25. So Kate and I both on Kelsey. What could go wrong? I feel like she's probably going to skirt her way into our parlay probably. But yeah, I kind of like the Fever too. I think that may be the A side in this one. But these games with no implications are always sus on the spread, in my opinion.
They are. That's all I got in that one. But yeah, these games, I always hate betting the last 1 to 2 games of the season because you kind of don't know what you're going to get. But I think for those two players, they'll at least have the minutes tonight to get there. They're not going to sit Kelsey Mitchell or play her less. Like the Fever still need to continue that momentum.
Partially because they ain't got anybody else. We've talked about this. They got you and me on the bench basically. So, all right, those are the 2 first games on the slate. These last 3 games are all on the late slate, so 10 Eastern, 9 Central. And luckily, like you mentioned, some of these games get to the end of the season don't have a lot on the line, but luckily a couple of these are huge implications games. Let's talk about this Sparks game. I'll let you kind of tee it up because this one might be the best one on the docket in comparison to what we're looking at from a implications perspective. The Sparks taking on the Mercury.
Yes, Sparks and Mercury. Sparks are in Arizona. In Phoenix. We have a 7.5 point line here. I just think that this is too big of a spread for a Sparks team that is do or die, basically. You're going to get their best effort tonight. If they were ever to give their 1000% effort, I think it has to be tonight. The Mercury have handled them, I don't want to say fairly easily. They've won all 3 games, but they've all been very close. They're an 8-point win for the Mercury, a 5-point win, and a 3-point win. So and those were earlier on in the season, at least the first 2, when the Sparks kind of stunk. And the Sparks have figured it out as of late. They haven't been an awesome team, but they've played better over the last month than they did the first month to start the season. So I'm gonna take the points with the Sparks today and grab the 7.5, just knowing that this is a Sparks lose and they're all but out of the playoffs if they lose, and the Storm win tonight. That matters too.
So this game starts the same time as the Storm game. So I'm assuming, depending on how this fourth quarter is going, they're probably going to be looking over their shoulder, asking somebody there's probably going to be some point in this broadcast where there's going to be somebody asking somebody about what's the score of the Storm game. Because if the Storm win, then the Spark season is over. So I like the bet, though. Makes a lot of sense. I kind of lean that direction, too. I have a bet on the Spark side, but just for fun, I'll let you guess in the Mercury game, on the Mercury.
I think you're going to go Alyssa Thomas, right?
Oh, you got it so well. There we go. 19.5 rebounds and assists for AT. Give me the triple-double for a sprinkle for plus 230. Rinse and repeat, chat. I've said it to you guys all the last 3 Ws. Just going to get and take it once again. Now, the Mercury also have stuff on the line here. Like we talked about with them, the Aces and the Dream. If the Mercury win, they can put pressure on the Aces and the Dream to have to get over the line to get that 2 seed. As they sit right now in the 4, they need to kind of get over the line as well. But last point on this, too, in that last game against the Sparks, that was that 15 assist, 16 rebound game where she ended up cashing her PRA because she ended up almost cashing her PRA with RA. So this Sparks team's not very good defensively, even though they've been better the last month. They're still not a very good defensive team. I think that AT is going to play enough to get me over the line here, and you got to sprinkle the triple-double in this situation. You can take the PRA if you want as well, chat, if you're listening. You know, you can go that direction too, but I'm taking AT. purely off principle. I think that this game
I
should
think
stay
you have
competitive. Yeah, you got
That's
to.
a good call.
The other side for another prop on the Spark side of things. So Rakia Jackson and Kelsey Plum are both GTDs in this game. So they're possibly
have to
not going to
play.
play.
There's no way Kelsey Plum doesn't play tonight, right?
Rakia is probable. Kelsey's still questionable. I think they both play unless, they got to chop her foot off or something.
Yeah.
But I think that this is I think that this is one of those situations. Oh, that's funny, Padge. Yeah, she has become my Denny. I bet on Denny Oddvia like a bunch last year and cashed a lot. And Denny's was always open late for me, Kate, pancakes and all.
Love it.
So yeah, AT's turned into my Denny a little bit. But I'm gonna go with somebody else who I bet on quite consistently, Dearica Hamby, just because she's been so good, over 17.5 points. You can go PRA if you want. She's a great rebounder, obviously, and she's had good games against this Mercury team. And as you said, do or die. I'm not going to sell you guys too much on all the stats and the props and things like that. There's 2 games left in the regular season. Like this is just one of those games where your best players have to come in and show up. They got to win this game to stay alive against a Mercury team who don't have as much on the line as the Sparks do. I think that Hamby's going to have plenty of opportunities. She didn't hit her points last game, but she still took 15 shots. She's one of the most she is the focal point of this offense, I would say, depending on how you feel about Plum when she's in the lineup too. So maybe you get a discount if Plum sits. I don't think she's going to sit, but maybe this line bumps to 19.5 or something like that if Plum doesn't play. But yeah, I think Hamby's going to come out and play. I like the Sparks too. I'm with you. I think the 7.5 feels like too many points. Hopefully the Storm lose just for
just for the theatrics of
the
league.
The last game of the season.
Yeah.
If you're a Storm fan, you're like, please don't do that. That would be terrible. Please stop now. Yeah, should be fun in the desert though. This game has the most implications on the line. The Storm game too, but not for the other side with the Valks necessarily. But this one has the most for both teams to kind of rock and roll with. So, anything else for this one? Should we keep rolling?
Let's keep rolling.
All right, should we go to that Aces game? We can spend on how much time we're going to spend on this one. You can tee us up for this one.
Yeah, this one's going to be ugly. Aces, 18.5 point favorites at home, total 159.5. The Chicago Sky are a joke. They are.
Yeah, as a Chicago person, how do you feel about all this stuff coming out? Do you think Angel's going to stay next? This is a derail completely, but as a fan of this city, I
think
guess.
they ship Angel off to the expansion team.
Wow.
Like her comments earlier this week of they need to get better players and everything. If you are a top player in the league, you should be winning your team games because you are that talented. She doesn't do that. So you're at best a 2 or 3, and you can't be making those comments as a 2 or 3 on your team. Like either you're a role player or you're a star player. And if you're a star player, your team better be winning more than what's Chicago's record this year? 10 games this season?
Yeah, 10 and 32.
You tell me you're a top what? She thinks of herself as probably a top 5 player in this league. That's a joke. 2, top 10 player. You should still be winning your team more than 10 games. So I think Angel Reese needs a little reality check here. I think she's more of an issue in Chicago than she is helping them. So I don't know what happens with her. I agree, like Chicago needs to improve their roster in some aspects, but maybe that comes from trading away Angel.
This is an issue. We talked about this. I don't know if you were here, if you had joined us yet on the channel or not, but we had talked about her possibly going and playing with Paige in Dallas, and then Enrique going and playing.
I would take Enrique over Angel any day of the week.
Well, I think I feel pretty certain that Enrique is going to leave Dallas, because her and Paige they can't play together. Not because they don't like each other. Their skills are not
same position, basically.
Yeah, they're doing the same thing, but Paige is better. Or the franchise, I guess, player. So that's an interesting take. I just want to get your thoughts since you're a Chicago person, and
it's
it's been crazy.
There's been just thing after thing after thing with that team, and they can't seem to get it right. And so either tonight they get absolutely smacked like the line suggests they're going to, or the Aces are up so big at half that they take their foot off the gas in the second half, and there's a backdoor cover from Chicago. I'm not playing anything in this game, but if I had to, like, if you made me, I would take the Aces in the first half -9.5. I think they cover. I think they come out, get the job done in the first half, maybe sit some of their players late, maybe give Asia a rest. And I mean, honestly, I think Angel's a little scared of Asia. I'm not sure Angel's going to play tonight. She had that weird scratch mid-game the last game because she was suspended for the first half for her comments, and then all of a sudden her back tightens up because she's not playing the first half and she's scratched in the second half. I'm not sure that Angel is going to do a whole lot tonight. Can you tell I'm kind of an Angel hater?
Yeah, I was about to say. It's funny. I used to be pretty heavily on the I don't like Angel side. I will give her credit. She played a lot better and improved a bunch as a scorer this season. But her off the court stuff.
That's the issue with me. It's like the I'm better than everyone type of thing. Well, go out there and prove it more than just the getting your own rebound 17 times a game.
Oh, 100%. It's nice to see you. Nice to see you bring some personality in that regard on this one. Yeah, because before this year, I was a big time Angel hater. Stoke really liked Angel. Inzi, our friend Inzi, was on Angel earlier this year quite a bit too, and I had to eat my crow a tiny bit, but you got to go out there and prove it consistently on a regular basis. All right, so you said this game stinks. Like, this game is it should be an absolute dog walk for the Aces. That would be their 15th win in a row. I don't think that they're going to lose. I think they cover an 18.5 point spread? Like, I don't know, but don't bet that, chat. If you want to bet 18.5 points, just go bet something else. But I will take this. I do think Asia has a chance to cover this in the first half. I think that she wants to have one more signature performance to lock up the MVP. She just had 31 points against this team. She could very much so have 20 plus in the first half. Maybe she only plays half the third quarter because they're winning by so much, or maybe this guy come out and play pretty well and stick around and they have to win because they can't afford to lose this game. So set it, forget it. I'm not going to overthink it. She's been too good. I'm just going to take Asia at 25 plus and just rock and roll with that. I've got a little bit of juice there. I think it's 25 plus for plus money if you want to take that line as well. I think she has a chance to flirt with the 30 piece again as long as she plays 25 to 26 minutes in this game, which I think she should. Yeah. One more mention too, Jackie Young destroys this team. Don't know what it is. Her PRA has been free every single matchup with this team this season. It was free last game. I think she had a triple-double against them as well. If it wasn't against them, it was against somebody else. But we've talked about this Sky team. They're terrible defensively. They've checked out. Cardoso maybe is a look if you want to bet something on the Sky side of things, just because she's still got stuff to prove. But, yeah, this game is nasty.
I'm looking at Jackie Young, a double-double 8-1.
That is a nice sprinkle if she plays enough minutes.
Something that we should maybe be throwing a little bit on?
That's a cup of coffee play for sure. I think she had I think she had 9 assists last game. I want to say, or she had a double-double last game. They just played like 2 or 3 days ago. Yeah. So let me just, because I had her PRA in something and it smacked. Let me just pull up what the numbers are. 25 and 9 in her last one against the Sky. She did not have a triple-double against them. She had 22, 7, and 3 earlier this year. So those are the two matchups with the Sky this season. So didn't quite get over the double-double line, but if you're of the frame of mind that you think maybe the Aces are just looking past the Sky team of Skosh, they just played, maybe they're feeling a little comfy, maybe the Sky come out and surprise them a touch, maybe Angel does play and it helps, I don't know.
I mean, the Sky did go to New York earlier this season and beat the Liberty when they were massive dogs, or maybe it was in Chicago, I don't remember, but that game they snuck up on the Liberty, so I guess maybe I'll be eating my words on Angel. And
I don't know about that, but
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, just to mention that I don't have money on Jackie. I did lab that though. I do like her PRA if you want to take something a tiny bit different. But otherwise, yeah, this game is definitely one that you're probably not going to be tuning into later tonight. All right, the Sparks are going to be very invested in this last game for multiple reasons, and we're going to finish it off talking about this Storm Valkyries game. I'll tee us up for this one. The Valkyries 6.5 point dogs at home. The Storm got to win. If they win, they're in. 6.5 point favorites here. The Storm over under for this game is 151.5. Not surprising with both of these teams, the way that they play defense. What's your thoughts on this game as a whole? I know you have kind of an opinion on the side here. What are we kind of thinking?
Yeah, I mean, this is still like the Valkyries can probably want to avoid getting. Although I'm not sure it matters because either the Valks are going to get the Aces or the Dream, more than likely.
Which both of those matchups are shitty.
They're going to lose either of those series.
Not good.
So my initial thoughts on today is just to take the dogs, knowing that every team's going to be throwing their best out there, and if this is a playoff type atmosphere, I'm going to take the points with the dogs most likely. And just because the Storm have screwed me so many times, they are so inconsistent. We could have another potential, what was it, 84-57 win like the Valkyries had over Seattle earlier this year. Now, then we also had a 9-point win, the Storm over the Valks earlier. So like certainly could happen, but the Valkyries have played the Storm well. They've won 2 of the 3. I think you're getting me a couple points. I'll take the points with the Valks.
This team is the most Jekyll and Hyde team that we have in the dub that's going to make the playoffs. They are incredibly scary when they show up and are all playing ball together because of all the talent they have. And then there are some games, like you said, that I've watched some of them too, that they are just awful. And they fall apart at home in the fourth quarter so much. It's so weird. I watched one game, and in the fourth quarter, you could start to feel them starting to crash.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the players you could sense their like they were like, oh my God.
They freak out. They don't know.
Yeah, they're like losing it.
They tighten up, and it's
yeah. And in the back of their heads, they're going, oh no, not again. And as soon as you're doing that, when you're up 10 in the fourth quarter, then you know you're really screwed. Yep. So I like this. I think that the Valkyries are going to keep playing too, because they want to be tuned up, ready to go into the playoffs. Like you mentioned, they got 2, whether it's the Dream, the Aces, or the Mercury, if it ends up falling that way. Like all those matchups are tough. So they got to make sure that they're kind of tuned up, ready to go. I'm taking something a little chalky in this game. I want for our sanity, or for our love of watching these last few games and hoping that we get at least one more good game for the Sparks, the Storm losing this game would be fun, purely off of that. But I don't think that Nyeka is going to want that to happen. So give me Nyeka over in 17.5 points. She's had 20 points in 3 straight games. She had 22 points against the Valkyries when they played last. This is her time. Former MVP of the league. This is the part of this. This is, I think, the type of this part of the season where it's gotten to the point now where she, at certain points of the game, just goes, I'm the vet here. I mean, Skylar Diggins too, but she's like, I'm going to get us a bucket. Yeah. I'm going to get us the victory here. And I think that if it comes down to it and they need these last couple buckets near the end of the game to win, so they don't have to worry about winning one more game or anything, or, worry about what the Sparks are going to do, that she's going to do that. So this is probably my least confident of all of them, because I don't really know how this game's going to go. But I think if you do feel like the Storm are going to get the job done tonight, I think Nyeka is going to have a lot to say. So I do like your Valks play though. I stuck offsides today just because all these games are. It is
weird. It's hard to figure out. I'm not I'm not overly confident in this Valks plus 6.5 one, just because the Sparks could go off like the Storm, because they are so Jekyll and Hyde. I do really like the Sparks plus the 7.5 though. That would be, if you had to pick between those two, I would choose the Sparks over the Valks.
Well, we're at that point, so I guess that's a good little teaser. So, Chad, here we go. We are going to put together a parlay for the slate tonight. As always, we say on the show, if you want to tail the straights, feel free to do so. Put a cup of coffee on the parlay. You don't have to bet the parlay if you don't want to at all. It's totally up to you. Bet responsibly, as per usual. I like what you're saying about the Sparks. I think that I'm down to do the plus 7.5. I think that makes a whole bunch of sense. I also feel like we got to put Kelsey in here. Yep. Purely off the fact of, that we
we're both on Kelsey and always are, and she's the best player on that team right now.
She's Kelsey, all right. She's Kelsey. All right, so let's go Sparks. Let me just pull it up here. I'm in a different location, as you can tell. So
I was going to ask you about your background. Where are we at?
So my wife is from Florida, and her parents are out of town for a month, and so she's looking after their house in Florida.
Amazing.
So I'm busy. So she's been down here. She's gonna be down here for 5 weeks, and I didn't want to be apart from my wife for 5 weeks unnecessarily. So came to visit her for a little over a week. So
nice.
I'll be down in the Florida sun. Unfortunately. Yeah, you'd think, but the weather in Nashville is actually better the entire time I'm here in Florida. Well, it's it's kind of hurricane season. It was warm today. It's raining right now. It's still nice. It's Florida, but in Nashville's weather's like sunny and 80 for the whole week. It'll be like that when I go back, but yeah. So I'm just giving me a second to kind of get this pulled up. I'm in my different location here. All right, so we got the Sparks plus 7.5. We got Kelsey Mitchell. Plus the 20. You want to take the 20 plus? Just cut the hook on the 20.5.
Let's do that. Right, I'm fine with an AT bet if you want to throw something for AT in there.
Sure, love that. I think we've double dipping in that game makes sense since it does have the most on the line for both teams.
Yeah,
I'm into that. AT 19 or 19.5 RA. Those 3 legs is plus 468.
Maybe we leave it at that.
That's fine. We don't have to get greedy.
No.
I feel good about that. The other games, again, there's so many things that could go wrong in those games.
Variables. Yep.
Yeah, that are just funky. And I feel like we kind of picked the spots to make the most sense just from a, safety perspective.
Yes.
As safe as you can get with sports betting. You know how it goes. So, all right. So 3 legs plus 468. That is your W4. If you guys would like to, W3, I guess today, if you guys would like to tail. The Sparks plus 7.5 to cover. Stay alive, hopefully, maybe win. Alyssa Thomas, 19.5 rebounds and assists. Kelsey Mitchell over 19.5 points plus 468. I will say, chat, Kate, I'll tell you this too. Our friend Owen in the chat sent us, he's been obviously a follower of the show for quite a long time, cashed a crazy touchdown parlay yesterday because of watching Betspresso. So this is a good reminder for all of you guys. And I know a lot of you guys do this quite often, but cook your own parlays. We give you guys a lot of information on the show. We kind of put together what we do. You guys are also sharp as well with what you're looking at and how you're looking at things. Take your own analysis, combine stuff, have some fun. Because those are the ones that end up getting the job done. It's all about info and how you put it together.
Water down a couple of them if you don't want to be as risky.
Yeah, exactly.
Take
watering down
15 plus or something, and maybe you get a plus 250 versus 470.
I do that in college football a lot. I get a little softer with spreads in college football because I'll tail. Honestly, I'm not a college football guy, so I don't follow it that closely. So I'll tail on Saturdays. I'll tail Danny, or I'll tail you if you throw a bet, or I'll tail somebody. But I'll like buy the spread down 3 or 4 points and put a boost on it, so it's about the same.
Yeah.
Nothing
wrong with that.
Sure, why not? Money's money at that point. So good stuff. All right, let's roll through all the bets we have for you guys. It's gonna take a second. Okay, go ahead. What do you got for us tonight?
All right, I'm going Jessica Shepard over 26 points and rebounds. Kelsey Mitchell over 20.5 points tonight. I am going Valkyries plus 6.5 and Sparks plus 7.5. Those are my 4 plays.
Love it. I paid a bit of juice on Kelsey on the 19.5. We're both on Kelsey Mitchell. She's in our parlay too. I'm on De'Erica Hamby over 17.5 points. I'm on Alyssa Thomas over 19.5 rebounds and assists. I know, chat. Don't make fun of me. You can do the triple double as well if you would like. Brianna Stewart in that game of over 5.5 boards. And then to take us home and tuck us in, my MVP, hopefully, Asia Wilson over 24.5 points. And then Yeka Agumuke over 17.5 points for 110. No minus, apparently, but minus 110. It's value there. Great stuff. Next week we will be live for the dub, but we will be talking playoff matchups next week.
We will.
The playoffs start this weekend. So be on the lookout for. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. We'll have some scribbles out for you guys at bettingnews.com. Inzi and Eddie will be busy in the lab this weekend getting you guys ready for the playoffs. We'll be finishing off the rest of the week as well over there. Big shout out to our sponsors at BetOnline. If you guys saw earlier today, we do have a new fun deposit bonus with BetOnline. You get 55% on your deposit bonus if you use our promo code BNBOL55. If you want to go check it out, the best time to get involved. The NBA is right around the corner. NFL is rocking and rolling as we talk football. These guys talk college football earlier as well. I saw somebody post a parlay, tailed you guys too on these stuff on the timeline, which is fun. So best time to get involved and come and hang out with us. Also, big announcement. We talked about this last week, but tomorrow, Kate will have her first individual show. Kate will have her first. I'll let you talk about it. Go ahead. Talk about your show tomorrow.
Noon Central tomorrow, 1 Eastern. Kate's Prop Shop. So we're talking all NFL props for the upcoming week 2. Colby is going to join me tomorrow, and we'll see.
Nice of you.
Yes. We'll see. Colby, he might have some college football props to mix in there. I told him it's just a prop show. Like, we are going to be mostly NFL, but any other props that he would like, or anyone else that joins the show over the next couple months want to throw in, is all fine. And we'll talk anyone who wants to throw props in the chat to get our take on those. We'll be taking questions too throughout, so it'll be fun. I'm excited.
That's awesome. 1 Eastern, 12 Central. Kate's Prop Shop will be live. Also, I'm super stoked when you get to NBA too, because I know you said you like betting.
Yes,
not as you
for
said,
NBA
not as
props as well in once that comes. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Do you do hockey props?
No.
No,
Hockey and baseball are like, you gotta pick and choose. I can't pretend to be an expert at all of them, which I would just be pretending if I were doing hockey and baseball. So we just leave those off.
There was a season about 2 years ago where I capped hockey, NBA, NFL, and it was too much.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's hard.
You can't be you can't know enough about all of them to be successful.
You can't watch all the games. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the type of bettor like betting is one of those things where, yeah, you look at the data for sure, but I like to, I got to watch. I got to know
There's a
what's
lot
going on.
that you can gather from the eye test.
100%.
Yeah.
So 1 Eastern tomorrow, join Kate in her prop shop with Mr. Marcio. He'll be hanging out as well for 1 o'clock Eastern. That will be every Wednesday going forward. So lock that in the calendar, guys. So now, chat, every single day you have multiple shows that you can watch right here on the Betting News Network because we love you so much.
Wonderful.
Wunderbar indeed. Plus 468. I'll read the parlay one more time since someone in the chat asked for it. We will post a graphic on socials as well. Go follow us over there at Your Betting News on all the different social medias. Betting.news on Instagram just to make you think about it a little more. Alyssa Thomas over 19.5 rebounds and assists. The Los Angeles Sparks plus 7.5. And then Kelsey Mitchell for 20 points plus 468. As Kate said, water it down. Take it individually or bet the parlay with us if you want to. I had something I was going to say to you, and I just forgot what it was to finish out the show. Oh,
Shoot.
man. I know. I'm disappointed in myself. That's okay. Whatever. It'll come to me when we sign off, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, go follow Miss Kate Constable at Kate Constable. Nice and easy. Go follow myself at Sweatpan Jesus. Go follow all of us at Your Betting News. Oh, I remember what it was. Did you see the TikTok punishment that I had to do today? Did you see that scrolling across the timeline?
I haven't listened to it with the sound on, so I need to go back and do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So every week.
So is that a thing?
Chat,
Whoever has the lowest score has to do something?
Every week for the entire fantasy football season on the Betting News League, for our league with us, if you have the lowest score that week, which unfortunately for me, it was this week, which is great to get out of the way early, I hope, you had to come on and do a funny filter and you have to explain why your team lost on
okay.
TikTok. Yeah. So the audio is pretty.
The filter caught my attention as I was scrolling through, and I think I saw it while I was on the college try, and so obviously can't listen to the sound then, and I forgot to go back. So I will go back and do that right after this.
Have a gander. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, my team was terrible. But it's okay. We only up from here.
Yeah.
The funny thing was I won 4 of my other 6 leagues this week. Of course, that one though I shit the bed, which is always
that's how it always goes.
Of course.
Yeah.
You guys will see Kate tomorrow on her new show, Kate's Prop Shop. I'll be back with you guys on Thursday for a double dip as well. But we appreciate you guys tuning in right here on the network. You guys came for the winners and you stayed for the vibes. Hope you guys enjoyed the last 3 hours of content and have enjoyed the games tonight on this beautiful Tuesday. And we will catch you guys on the next one. Kate, been a pleasure. Chat, been a pleasure. Y'all have a fantastic Tuesday night. And we'll see you later. Take it easy. Peace.
What you know about rolling down in the down in the now I know y'all be loving this shit right here. Rolling. What you gonna do? Rolling. What you gonna do? Down in the rolling. What you gonna do? Right, y'all be loving this shit. What you know about